Yo, it's soccer over there. Let's move the curtain. Woo! We'll get Mr. Leafy in here in just a second as he is finishing up a meal, it appears, as I can watch backstage. But we'll get him in a minute. So because Nick doesn't like to hang out in the section of the show that talks about England, John, why don't you get that out of the way?
All right. Stuff from Chelsea over the last couple of hours. It looks like Director Marina Granovskaya will be leaving in short order after Chairman Bruce Beck, after 19 years, is stepping aside. So you have Granovskaya. Looks like she's leaving. Don't know if that's going to be before the window or after the window. That's still up for debate. David Ornstein of The Athletic has mentioned that as well as our folks from Sky. It looks like Todd Boehly will be taking over some of those duties as well. So and then the next question is Petr Cech. So Petr Cech, is he going to be staying? He was asked to. So is he going to be leaving as well? So the Boehly Clear Lake folks are coming in, and some of the big names for Chelsea are coming out. Beck has been chairman, I think, since 2003. Marina Granovskaya started off, I think, as Roman Abramovich's personal assistant and has worked her way up to director at Chelsea and has been at his right hand for the better part of a decade. So the change that we knew was coming in with new ownership at Chelsea is taking turn with possibly three of the biggest names that have been associated with the club over the last 2 decades.
In the front office,
yes, in the front.
There's been maybe bigger names who played on the pitch.
Yeah.
But this isn't a surprise. I mean, it's new ownership. They're going to want their own people in, and if you keep people there very closely associated with Roman Abramovich, that's probably not going to go over all that well. So this isn't a shock. If they asked Peter, they didn't ask the other people to stay. It sounds like they're asking Petr Cech to stay. That's a different conversation. But you couldn't keep the other two after being there so long and being so closely tied to Abramovich.
Yeah, Cech's official title is Technical and Performance Advisor, and he's been working closely with Thomas Tuchel over football matters and transfers. And according to Matt Law at The Telegraph, right now, Cech is the one who has to wonder internally whether or not he wants to stay or go. So,
why would he be wondering if they ask him to stay?
Well, it's, do you want to be there? That's the thing. It's up to Petr Cech inside to sit there and say, well, do I want to be here? Do I want to continue to be here? Or do I want to go on? That's something he's got to decide for himself.
Okay. We all have to decide things for ourselves. This is true.
That is true. It looks like also Boehly Clear Lake have been linked to Atletico Madrid's Andrea Berta for their
as well as everybody else in the world. But yes,
yeah. So for new sporting director, but until then, obviously, Boehly and Thomas Tuchel will take on the responsibilities left by Granovskaya whenever she exits, just to fill in the void until they come up with who they want to come up with.
Yeah, I mean, no shock. Again, you just need to get your own people in there when you have new owners. So that's typical.
Player stuff. It looks like who did I want to focus on off the top? Raheem Sterling. It looks like he is managing his own talks about his future. And once again, no real surprise, Chelsea is chasing after Raheem Sterling. So Chelsea chasing after a lot of folks, and Raheem Sterling seems to be at the top of their list. It also appears that
21.5 million pounds has reportedly been turned down by City for Raheem Sterling, according to Fabrizio Romano. But Sterling, according to The Athletic, has been asking people about life in West London. So you're going to need more than 21.5 to get it done, but they've got the money to get it done if they want to.
And it looks like Manchester United has also made initial contact with Christian Eriksen's representatives over a summer move to Old Trafford. He becomes a free agent at the end of the month.
Yeah, Manchester United jumping in where it sounds like for some reason Spurs has jumped out of the Christian Eriksen race. Not really sure exactly why, but it's completely dropped off the radar for Spurs, according to some reports. And Manchester United is linked to everybody plus 10 that Chelsea is linked to. So
absolutely. And this is going to be an interesting one for me with Brentford, considering what
they're not keeping him. There's nothing interesting. He's not staying there.
But who do you bring in to be that catalyst? You had
it's Brentford.
Well, but what I'm saying is that Brentford was struggling offensively.
Yeah.
When Thomas Frank made the contact to bring in Christian Eriksen to have him help out Brentford. And I think that
Sure.
Christian Eriksen was part and parcel to them staying up and having the finish that they did. I think it was 13th
Yeah.
in the table.
Yeah.
Now you don't have that fulcrum that you had offensively. Who do you bring in now to be that individual to make sure that you stay up for this second year to try to match what you did in the first year in the Premier League? For me, that's going to be an interesting pursuit for Brentford now. That
they're not going to be able to get anybody of any stature. I mean, you get Ericsson because of personal connections. You're not getting somebody along the lines of Christian Eriksen if you're Brentford. So, sorry, it's not going to happen. I don't know what direction they go. I don't think you can find anything resembling a like for like. So you're probably going to have to do what a lot of teams in the lower half of the table have to do. You're going to have to get more pragmatic. You're going to have to figure out what you can work with and what you can get out of it. So, I mean, they're not going to replace him directly. I don't think that's possible. Christian Eriksen and his situation is kind of a once in a lifetime one for Brentford. I don't see any way they truly replace him.
Yeah, and let's see who else was other than everybody. Who else was Manchester United tied to?
Everybody.
Yes, Frankie de Jong. They remain in talks with Barcelona over signing him. Both clubs remain apart in their valuations. United.
We do have a new one for Manchester United. The Frankie de Jong one has been going. Paul Pogba's close to signing with Juventus or whatever.
Sandro Martinez from
Sven Botman is reportedly a new one for Manchester United is a £55 million offer for Brazilian striker Evanilson, which was rejected by Porto, but they are going to make a fresh bid for him. 22 years old. It's being reported in Brazil, or in Portugal, sorry. And $55 million for Evanilson is whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That is a little surprising.
Yeah.
That we're there on him. He's valued at transfer market at $24.2 million. I'm not quite buying the rumor that a £55 million offer was rejected by Porto. I don't get that. But he's a forward who last season scored 14 goals in the league in 30 games. Had 7 in the cup in 7 games. So 21 goals in 45 in all competitions for Porto. Great return. I mean, that's great. He's 22, just a little bit older. 55 million I'm not buying. 30 to 40, maybe, but we'll see. Again, the rumor is that Porto rejected the 55 million pound bid, which we'll see. That's a new name, at least on the Manchester United list.
And the out, still Dean Henderson is a part of the discussion on the out, heading to Nottingham Forest to be their starting keeper. So, it's once again the subplot that is Manchester United continues with.
Yeah, Porto's record fee departure is $55 million. Evan Nilsson, they offer £55 million. You can't take that fast enough. Come on.
Exactly.
Sorry. Also, another name we've mentioned before, Manchester United, but at least there's an update. And then there is a new name. Julian Timber, the 21-year-old Dutch defender at Ajax, not going to happen. And reportedly, Louis van Gaal recommended to Timber that he not go to Manchester United, where Louis van Gaal used to work. And his compatriot Ten Hag is now at. That's interesting. But Manchester United might just go to the other side of the back line for Ajax and go sign Lisandro Martinez, 24-year-old Argentine center back who is also a target of Arsenal.
A couple of other folks to mention, it looks like, and we can get Nick's thoughts on this as well, from Gianluca Di Marzio over at Sky Italy. Inter Milan have increased their loan fee offer to Chelsea for Romelu Lukaku from €5 million to €7 million plus add-ons. Chelsea wants a guaranteed $10 million. They also want Inter to pay Lukaku's wages. So that's the latest on that one.
That'll happen in some form or fashion.
West Ham is set to bid £30 million for Armando Broja, who is Chelsea's, but he was loaned out to Southampton last year. and scored 9 goals in 38 appearances for them. So West Ham is now chasing after Armando Broja from Chelsea. Pep Guardiola has said that Bernardo Silva's immediate future is with Manchester City, despite interest from Barcelona.
He also said he wouldn't keep somebody who's unhappy. Barcelona don't have the kind of money to get Bernardo Silva, but somebody else might come in. Barcelona, again, we mentioned it this morning, they got a couple things voted through that they can bring in some cash. Financial levers. They can pull the levers now and bring in some money, and they need to, before the end of the fiscal year, which is the end of this month. That'll help their standing with La Liga and the wage cap that La Liga has. They need that desperately. They also are in a bit of a standoff over Frankie de Jong. It's a staring contest where Manchester United knows Barcelona needs to sell. Barcelona knows Manchester United really wants to buy, and there's pressure on the Manchester United side with fans wanting to go talk to executives at their house, and that executive goes to a bar to meet him instead because that's where they were meeting, to then go to his house and protest. Man, it's all madness. They need a flashy move. Barcelona needs the money. They're in a staring contest about who's going to blink first. Good times. Silly season. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
One more before we go down to Italy and some other places on the continent. Philip Hintze is saying that Tyler Adams is still on Leeds' short list of players they want to bring in. Other Premier League clubs also showing interest. RB Leipzig would sell if they get an offer that's in line with the market. So Tyler Adams could be headed to Leeds, as we've talked about, could be headed elsewhere. He doesn't have a long-term future at RB Leipzig. And if he reunites with Jesse Marsch, it just makes all the sense in the world if they can get that done.
Eddie Nketiah has signed a new Arsenal deal as well.
Woo! What are you doing, John? What are you doing?
What? I can't enjoy the music?
Yeah, but that's like are you doing like a hula girl dance?
No, I don't. No, because I don't have a hoop.
Well, the dance was hula. Nick, that was a hula girl dance John was doing. That's not what your people do, Nick. What's going on?
Nick's face froze.
You froze it.
Yeah, the dancing froze. I don't know what's going on. Internet connection's terrible. All of it's terrible. John, the dancing, I mean.
Just no. Don't do that.
I don't know. There's some people at home right now that may be scared. They may be concerned. They may not know what's happening.
Yes. That's normal, but maybe a little accentuated right now.
Maybe so.
Maybe just a little ramped up. Yeah. Couple of things before we get into Italy and some talk about Milan, because they're also linked to maybe everybody that Chelsea and Manchester United are minus 10. They're linked to quite a few.
Yeah, maybe everybody and nobody.
Yeah, who knows? They got money now, so it could get interesting. In France, so we mentioned this morning that Zinedine Zidane is not going to take the PSG job, according to RMC Sport, which we've talked about for a while now. He wants the French national team job. The PSG hierarchy have done everything possible to try to get him. They've wooed him. They've tried to wow him. They might have sent dancing hula girls. Who knows? It hasn't worked. Maurizio Pochettino is still there, but not there because he's going to be fired. And reportedly, they've already agreed to how much money he will take with him as he leaves town. Leonardo, I don't think, has ever officially been fired by PSG, which is quite entertaining. He's actually been suspended for a Champions League game, though, because of the actions after they were knocked out of the Champions League. So wherever he goes, he's got a suspension hanging over his head. Yeah. But now it is Christophe Gauthier, who is at Nice, who won Liga the previous season before this last one with Lille, managed Luis Araujo, among others. Gauthier, they got to buy him out of his deal at Nice. There's 2 more years on it. PSG can cut that check, but that's a different kind of hire for them. It's not going with a giant name, good, respected manager. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going with a Ancelotti. It's not going with a Tuchel. It's not going, with that a Conte. It's not going with that level of person.
Right.
So maybe they've either learned something or they don't have one of those big names out there they can go get.
Well, it's like Chris Rock said, you're only as faithful as your options, right? And they don't have a lot of options because they've gone through all the big names. Who else are they going to get?
Who have they not had at this point?
I
I
mean,
mean,
right.
Pep and Klopp, forget it. That ain't
That's
happening.
it.
They're smarter than that.
That's the only two people who would fit into the stratosphere of PSG.
Allegri, maybe, but they've had their
No,
chances to bring him in.
no. Allegri had his moment where he was the belle of the ball and everybody wanted to bring him in, and he sat and he waited and he sat and he waited, and
Yeah, they could have got him when they got Pochettino. I
right.
think he was. I think the timing he was available at that point, and they opted to go Pochettino.
Right, and I wouldn't bring Allegri into that side anyway.
No.
Yeah, he's a dinosaur. He's proven that time and time again that he's a tactical dinosaur, and you wouldn't want that attacking front with his tactics. I mean, you don't
Bring
want
crazy old Louis Van Gaal in. That'll be fun.
yeah.
That'd be entertaining.
Yeah, but the one thing here is with bringing in the former manager of Lille is that you have someone who was able to win the league with lesser parts, and so not to mention that he could do something like call Milan and be like, all right, let's start negotiating for my old keeper Mikey Magnon, and let him displace Donnarumma yet again. No skin off my back. Have fun. But,
I'm just waiting to see where Kaler ends up.
Right, and yet again, poor Kaler keeps getting disrespected.
It's all right. He's going to the World Cup, though.
He's going to World Cup. Good for him.
It's a good thing.
But PSG's, they have a problem is that they, for too long, have not. They've brought in coaches who have immediately left and found immediate success elsewhere. They brought in big name player after big name player, and they have progressed no further Champions League than what they want to do. So you might as well go ahead and have like the domestic coach who knows how to handle things in Ligue 1 and is okay being pushed to the next level because you really have no other options. So have fun. I mean, there are far worse things they could do. They could hire. They could call Minnesota and try to see what it would take to get Heath out of a job. So you could certainly do worse.
Jeez.
And look, who else are you gonna get? Ancelotti. You had
They've had them
Ancelotti.
all.
You had Ancelotti, right? You had you had Tuchel. You had you've had everyone, and you've bombed it each time, and it's because put on the most beautiful football on earth, but if you can't, in a tournament situation, defend,
There's that.
and find players who have some steel in their spine, which they don't seem to have in great numbers, they're going to fold every time. The problem, and it is the problem, and I think, we see it on the Twitch pitch here. The problem is not the manager; it's the players, right? It's their player acquisition strategy. It's the players they
You're
bring
just getting
in.
stars. You're not thinking about fit.
No,
And
you're playing.
look,
team
Lionel Messi, Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, all incredibly talented players, and they'll figure out how to make the best of it because they're great players. But is that your best way to build a team that can win in a tournament? Because that's your ultimate goal. I mean, you can win Ligue 1 with your second team, essentially, if you're PSG, if you have a smart manager. You're building a team to win a tournament. And that's going to be based a little bit more on the defensive side. It's a tournament. We see it in the Champions League all the time. That's the ultimate goal for them. And we'll see if Gaultier maybe comes in with a little bit different approach and tries to build something just a little different. Keep an eye on it. It's definitely worth paying attention to. A couple of other things in France to pay attention to. Lyon, their sale could be completed tomorrow. John Textor is now in pole position after a previous bid didn't come up with the guarantees. Board meeting to ratify sale has been moved forward 24 hours, so things are moving quickly. The company's share price was suspended this morning. A sale of a large part of the club shares will be decided today or maybe tomorrow morning. 600 million euro up to that is what Foster Gillett had entered into an agreement to he had an agreement with the club at the
Mhm.
start of the month to get this done. Didn't
Mhm.
show the necessary bank guarantees. So fellow American John Textor has jumped in the door, and he's already got Botafogo. He's already got Molenbeek. He already has, 40% of Crystal Palace, John?
Yep, 40%.
Okay. He has provided the concrete guarantees, and this could get done really quickly. The person who I guess is going to be in charge of this, who owns just under 20% of the shares, views this favorably. So Textor had never really been up for approval because Foster Gillett was already in line. Also, Textor is interested in investing in FC Porto, which is kind of the same level as Lyon, so that's kind of odd. Maybe he'll push through the £55 million mysterious offer that was thrown out for Manchester United. You're seeing more of this, Nick, with guys or companies who are getting involved in multiple clubs. So if Textor gets this done, let's say he gets Porto done, you would have a Brazilian top flight club, although Botafogo just came back up, so not quite stable yet.
Yep.
You'd have a second division Belgian club. You'd have a Liga club in the top 5 in terms of stature, and you'd have one of the top 3 Portuguese clubs.
Right.
It's interesting just because, you'd have 2 clubs at roughly the same European stature, in my opinion, in Lyon and Porto. Yeah. Roughly. It can vary a little bit year to year.
Sure.
And you'd have Botafogo, who would be maybe a pipeline. And you've got a second division Belgian club that maybe turns into a first, but they would be below the other 2 European clubs. And you've got a decent bit. I don't know. Does he have controlling interest to Palace, John? At 40%.
I think it's still the gentleman that picked Steve Parrish in that group. I think.
Okay, so he's the minority guy at Palace, but he's got influence.
Yeah.
So you've got that, which is another whole hard one to compare to Lyon and Porto because of the money in England, but it's Palace. Okay. We've seen success with some of these. We've seen a lot of failures with some of these multi-club situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's a smart acquisition strategy for him to buy clubs that need to be rehabbed and inject some basic funds and make them competitive. That's great. I think the larger issue here, and I think it was McCormick who brought this up on Twitter, is what happens to the ladies' teams? Is he going to have the same level of investment with the ladies' teams as he does with the men's teams? And
yeah, I think so, because that's a pretty attractive part of at least Lyon out of all those clubs.
Well, we believe this. Now, the question is does he see it the same way? Right, like we understand the market availability if you invest in the women's clubs and you put the real funds in there and you back it as it needs to be backed. The concern that I have is with this acquisition strategy, the markets are not created equally. So the Brazilian market is very different than Lyon, is very different than the Portuguese top flight, and you are. If one starts to dip, you only have, I don't care how rich you are, you only are going to direct so much of your money into these assets. So how long are you going to be, how long are you going to be dumping money into,
Textor's pretty rich.
No, yeah. He's very, fantastic. Good for him.
Former chief exec of Fubo TV.
Great.
Yeah, I mean... I think the women's side thing for Lyon, that would not be a concern I'd have. I think the bigger one here for me is if you're looking at Porto and you're looking at Lyon, and you then have let's play it through. You bring up a kid from Botafogo, and he's really good, and he's ready to move to Europe. Which one do you send him to? And you're going to have a situation, look, it might be a right back, and one club doesn't need a right back. Sure. But you're going to have a situation where both clubs could use a forward, and you got a Brazilian forward that you just brought through, and where does he go? And then that's going to create some chaos. I think clubs at the same level, roughly, are really hard to manage. Like, Now, here's the thing, and also in France, David Blitzer, who is another Crystal Palace shareholder and Textor's buddies at Palace, Josh Harris and David Blitzer, tried to get Chelsea. They weren't able to pull that off. Bowley beat them out. But Blitzer is now turning his attention over to Saint-Etienne, who was relegated. And remember, Saint-Etienne has had all kinds of chaos with the fans invading the pitch, throwing flares at the tunnel. The LFP is going to put sanctions on them. That should be announced maybe in a few days.
Yep.
Once that's known, then figure out what Blitzer's going to do here. Blitzer's another one of these multi-club guys. He's at Palace. I'm not sure everywhere else that Blitzer is involved, but he would be, and it looks like what he's going to try to pull off here is he would become, quote, the strong minority shareholder. So he could basically hedge his bets, I guess, is if you're buying a team that just went down to the second division, you don't want to buy them outright yet. Okay. He's going to be in a good position, but he's not going to have all the risk yet.
Right.
Or if he gets the numbers he wants, then he might just buy the whole thing out. A lot of it's going to depend on these sanctions that are going to come from all of the chaos at the end of the season. But that's another one. You know, I mean, France seems to be the hot spot right now. And look, we talked about the financials. Go back to all of our conversations over the last couple of years about the French broadcast situation and how they absolutely blew it.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you blow that revenue and you freak out and say, oh, you missed a payment. No, we want to end the contract. They're like, okay, sure, we'll end the contract, whatever. That's cool.
Yep.
And now they're not getting anywhere near that kind of money. And you got people have to sell.
I think Elliott really showed a lot of American billionaires the way, which is you buy a diminished asset in a league that has some notoriety, that's a competitive league, and you are able to, with strategic investment, not blowing the bank out like some of these other cats are doing, you can turn a diminished asset into something very competitive in just a couple of years. And if need be, you can offload it, maintain your minority shareholder status, and keep drawing funds, keep drawing revenue. And that's what happened with Milan. That's why Trump is still a minority shareholder. None of those guys grew up in Milan. None of those guys grew up wearing red and black, but they understand the value of holding on to an asset like that. So Blitzer's
shares that he's got in places,
they are all over the place.
Philadelphia 76ers,
Smart.
New Jersey Devils, Cleveland Guardians, Real Salt Lake, Crystal Palace, Augsburg, Den Haag, and Alcorcon.
A lot of fingers and a lot of pies.
That's a lot. How much he has? He partnered with Ryan Smith to buy Real Salt Lake. He bought a minority share of the Guardians, 25 to 30%. That was just approved a few days ago. He's got some minor league teams. He's got all kinds of stuff, but I don't know which ones of these. He's got a majority stake with a partner in the New Jersey Devils, but it looks like he's got a lot of shares in places where he has influence, but he's not on the hook for all of it.
35% in the Guardians.
Right. That's the one that just went through, 25 to 30%. It's just been approved. So we will see where that goes. But French clubs are up for sale and things could get wacky in France.
But okay, so oh Lord. Okay, go ahead with this. Oh my.
Hi, Jared.
Hi, Jason.
You're excited.
I'm torn right now, man. I've had like good and bad things on social media in like the last 10 minutes of my day.
What's the good?
Jock Peterson wearing pearls, getting his ring.
That's cool. What's the bad?
To see it. Nick knows all about it too. It is former NFL player Justin Forsett posting the conditioning test that his son's soccer team wanted him to pass at 9 years old.
9.
Jason, have you seen this?
Yes, I've seen it. I'm trying to not say things that might be offensive.
I could say a track star on cocaine couldn't complete this thing. So I have
No.
no idea what these morons.
You shouldn't even mention the word fitness to a 8-year-old soccer player.
No.
You're actively getting kids to hate not only sport in general, but you're building this negative association with running that I can tell you I still have from all the conditioning I had to do as punishment. I still have a negative psychological issue with running in general. I hate it because in my brain, it's still linked to punishment, not to fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Great job, Coach. And somebody,
fun.
that joker is stealing folks' money, trying to break people's kids.
Stealing money. Because you still have these morons that believe that it is a track sport, or essentially you just run nonstop. And you see some of the numpties in the comments who are like, well, I mean, soccer has a lot of running, probably a good thing. No. So as someone who is the resident, Lobanovsky and Ralph Rangnick chief apologist, I love the high press. You don't teach the high press to 9-year-olds. You teach them how to work a ball.
Yes.
You teach them how to work a ball. The ball is fun. You want the ball. You need to have fun with the ball. The ball is your friend even when there's no other kids around.
What about winning, Nick? That's all that matters, and you've got to run them into the ground to make that happen.
Shut up.
That's right. Yeah, and those Varsity Blues Coach Kilmer morons out there, the quote Billy Bob, somebody ought to rip their arms off and beat them to death. You know, it's there's no reason at all you should ever trust. If you ever show up, and as someone who has coached the kids, if someone, and I told like all the parents this past season, I said, look, if you go anywhere else and the coach does anything outside of hand your kid a ball and say, okay, we're going to do something fun and silly, take your kid out. It's not worth it. You're not going to get some substantial wins or loss. Barcelona is not going to show up at your kid's youth program and be like, this kid here, yes, see how he is running, yes, get him, yes. You know, don't tell the Spanish tax man. You know,
yeah, don't do that. If you show up to a practice about a club you're thinking of joining and you see anybody under the age of like 16 that is standing in a line or running a lap, get out. Like, just leave. Just leave. Just turn around, get back in the car, and leave. Go somewhere else. Because that's the dumbest nonsense that still happens, that is outdated and moronic.
Yep. So yeah, that ruined my good vibe. I had a great vibe going with seeing Jock Peterson get his ring. He tried to steal the World Series trophy. I've never seen an athlete spend 6 months in a city and endear himself in that way, and embrace it, and then get people to embrace him. And it was awesome to see, and then that just ruined it. So I'm kind of
I'll bring it back.
I got a foot in both worlds. Bring it back for me.
I'll bring it back for you. You got the CONCACAF U20s on 2-day NA right now. The field is messy. It's very messy.
Like
There's
Fifth Third Bank messy?
No, like it's rained a lot in Honduras messy, and you've got like portions of it that are okay, and you try to play into those portions of the field where you can play. But Costa Rica is leading 2-0 over Antigua and Barbuda, and the U.S. plays Canada starting at 8:30.
Can I tell you that reminds me of the friendly that Atlanta played in Nashville? Like, was it 3 years ago?
That one had more standing water than this. This is mud.
Yeah.
That one was hilarious, though, because parts of that field were fine. And, like,
thanks to
parts
the
of that
grass
field
planted on the infield.
Yeah, parts of that field were so hilariously bad. Like, I think the first goal in that game is because, like, the keeper plays a ball to a center back, and the ball just stops. So Joseph just walks up and kicks it in.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Saw that in this tournament, actually. Honduras got a home cooking goal because of the field. The ball's rolling toward, like, it's a long ball played. It's going near the keeper. He's waiting for it at the edge of the 18. It just stops. Player comes running in, like, pokes it forward about 10 yards. Goalkeeper stranded. The ball stops again and then just slots it home because there's nobody there. Yesterday, had a big day for guys in this tournament. It's the U20s that qualifies you for the U20 World Cup next year, but more importantly, qualifies you for the 2024 Olympics.
Hey.
They're not doing a separate tournament now. It's the U20 qualifying tournament that will get you to the Olympics in 2 years, where players could be, or be like more like 21, 22. It's a U23 tournament. Bingo, bango. Antonio Leone of LAFC, he scored a goal, had an assist. Johnny Perez of the LA Galaxy had an assist in Mexico's 8-0 win over Suriname. You got some blowouts in this tournament, too. Just buckle up. Alexander Romero of LAFC and Danny Rios of Houston scored in El Salvador's 5-1 win over Guatemala. Brian Destin, he is the youngest player in the tournament at 16 years old. He's part of Inter Miami's academy. Scored to earn Haiti a 4-4 draw with Trinidad and Tobago. Drunk madness, except these kids are too young to drink. Maybe they can in Honduras. I don't know. Archimedes Ordonez, a Cincinnati homegrown player. He scored the only Guatemala goal in their 5-1 loss to El Salvador.
I like the first name, Archimedes. Go for it.
Yes, it is. It's Spanish. It's Guatemalan, but it is Arquimedes.
So that may be how the Spanish spelling of it. However,
sure,
Archimedes from Syracuse.
Yes.
just throwing that out there.
No, I'm with you. I'm just letting you know. It is moved to the Spanish kind of spelling. All right, couple things here on the European front outside of England and other places. We'll go to Wales. Ryan Giggs, he is finally stepping down as the Welsh national team manager. You might have forgot that he still had that job, kind of. His trial might actually happen here at some point. The case has been delayed. I think he was basically put to the side. I don't know the legal situation of could they fire him or did they have to wait for the case to play out before they could fire him. But they basically put him on ice over to the side while they qualified for a World Cup. So he has stepped down on his own as the players prepare for the World Cup. And he didn't want any speculation around the position of their head coach, like he was going to get the job back or something. He did plead not guilty to the criminal accusations that are being heard at the Manchester Crown Court. He had hoped that the case would have been heard by now, so they could have, I don't know, he could have taken the job back I still don't think that would have happened. But anyway, he didn't want anything to be affected. And if you want to go into what this case is, I'll leave you to that. Mm-hmm. You can go look that up on your own.
Look, here's the takeaway message in all this. Stop hiring famous scumbags for jobs.
There's that. That's a message.
I don't
alleged scumbag, at least.
No.
Do we know he's definitely a scumbag?
I know he's definitely a scumbag. Yeah.
Okay, so confirmed scumbag, alleged criminal.
Alleged criminal.
Is that fair?
Confirmed scumbag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's effective. Yeah.
Got to get the terminology correct.
Yeah. So if for anyone who is so inclined, feel free to YouTube Ryan Giggs' brother.
Oh boy.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun with the commercial. That is the ultimate nuclear troll job. So, yeah, if you want to throw that out there, yeah. So stop hiring scumbags for jobs just because they're famous in your particular corner of the earth. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, have fun with that. Oh, boy. Go back to the U20s real quick in CONCACAF. If you didn't see the U.S. first game, they won 10-0. Again, lots of high scores in this tournament. It was St. Kitts and Nevis. Tyler Wolff got a goal in that. Everybody got a goal almost. Lots of goals, lots of debuts and such. And today's game against Canada, look, it's 8:30 on 2Day NA. I think you can watch it on the YouTube in English as well on CONCACAF's YouTube. I don't think anybody ponied up for the English language rights. So it'll be a good test, and it'll really be the last test until they get probably to the Final Four. So this should be a good one tonight. 8:30 kick on that. I did want to touch on this. FIFA and FIFA Pro have done a study here, and they tracked 400,000 social media posts during the semifinals and final of the Euro 2020 tournament and this year's African Cup of Nations, and found that over 50% of the players that were involved in those games received some kind of abuse. Black players who missed penalties were the most abused players in the Euro 2020 final. Marcus Rashford, Saka.
Is my shocked face.
I know. They were the ones who suffered the most abuse during that. Johnny Infantino said some things about it. We'll see what FIFA does. He says the right things, but let's see what they actually do about it. And it's social media. That's one thing that FIFA doesn't really have complete control of. He said there's a trend developing where a percentage of posts on social media channels directed towards players, coaches, and match officials and the teams themselves is not acceptable. This form of discrimination, like any form of discrimination, has no place in football. The report found that most of the abuse during the two periods in question came from the players' home countries. This isn't visiting fans abusing these people or opposing fans. It's from their home countries.
Inside the house, yeah.
Homophobic, 40%. Racist, 38%. Comments make up the majority of the abuse. Most of it stayed online as well. 90% of accounts flagged as having published abusive comments have a, quote, high probability of identification. So I guess 90% of these morons on a Monday, you can actually tell who they are. That's a little surprising. I didn't think it'd be quite that high. FIFA and FIFA Pro are going to launch a dedicated in-tournament moderation service that will scan recognized hate speech terms published to identified social media accounts. The idea is once they're detected to prevent the comment from being seen by the recipient and their followers. I don't know how that will exactly work.
Yeah,
I do like the approach. I like the idea. I like what they're trying to do here. And I like that FIFA is working with FIFA Pro to try to do it. But I don't know the logistics of how that happens. Hopefully the social media platforms themselves will work with this and get it done because it's absolutely ridiculous.
I just love how it's, these idiots like to throw up the thing of, well, it's just banter, mate. It's just, don't miss the penalty, mate. Whatever. At the end of the day, they give themselves away, right? Like, who are you going after? Like, who are you, railing against here?
Yeah. What's your tell?
Right. And so exactly. And the thing is that they all tend to go after the young black players, especially in England. As thrilled as I was for Italy to win the Euros, there was, instantly when that happened, when the penalty misses happened, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, because you know what's coming. You know what's coming. And they're going to get just nuked online. And not just online, but then the media, especially the English media, because they're 2 steps short of the CIA hacking phones and doing whatever else. It is so hyper toxic in that situation. I have no remote clue. Actually, Italy does have black players. So Gnotto it has a score and a couple of assists so far in Nations League. So that's happening. But what you have is, there's something toxic within the fan bases, especially in England. And I'm sorry, it is what it is. Where they just get nuked on socials nonstop for anything. And they'll throw in the Southgate thing here as cover, like air cover, like, oh, well, for Southgate as well. Blah, 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 blah. No, we know who you are. You go after, you make, and yes, there's been racism in England for years. There's been racism in Syria for years. And I think in Italy, it's not difficult to identify these people and kick them out of the stadiums for life. I think in social media, it's not difficult to track these people back to their home accounts because a lot of these idiots are stupid enough to put their names on there. And what do? You track them down. You say, great, you're from this place. Even though you're going after Rashford, wait, not even on our team. Congratulations there, big pal. You're out. You're gone. We don't want you in the stadium. We don't want you wearing our colors. We don't want you doing anything.
Charge him with everything.
Get out. And they're not addressing it because they want to occupy that, what they think is that safe space in the middle, where I'm going to do just enough activism to satisfy the vocal part of people who are saying that, I want my club to take steps. Okay, we're going to drift just as far over here to take care of that, but they're not going to go over here because, we don't want to deal with all the heat that comes from actually addressing these problems.
Here's my frustration, Nick, because I think some clubs are actually doing a good job of dealing with it. Some clubs are being very forceful in dealing with it. Some aren't. But it needs to be bigger than that. It needs to be the national federation. It needs to be the league if it's a league situation, a league game situation. If it's a national team thing, it's a federation. UEFA, FIFA, all the others, CONMEBOL made pronouncements about what they would do going forward after just a whole bunch of issues involving Brazilian clubs in the Libertadores group stages. They got out in front of that. We'll see if it holds up. It's got to be more consistent. I love trying to work with the social media companies. I don't know what that looks like. Again, I don't know what kind of control you can put there. I hope that these soccer organizations, if you can identify these people, if you can identify, people who have done these things, I hope that the soccer organizations publicly come out and say, well, you're not going to be allowed to buy tickets. You're not going to be allowed to enter our stadiums. You can do that. And do it. They're banned. Do it. If they do something stupid on social media, ban them then too. If they do something stupid in the stadium, ban them there too. Ban them across the board. But I think to get it away from the clubs having to do that dance, that it can be really difficult at times. Look, if it's an obvious one, okay. I think most clubs are handling that. If it is more in the borderline of, should we really go here? Don't make it a club thing. Make it a league and national federation thing. Take it out of the club's hands. And then those organizations, they don't have the stadium for people to show up to and protest and do all that nonsense to. That's not what they're there. So make it a nationwide, a league-wide, a federation-wide thing and handle it. I want to give FIFA credit. We take shots at FIFA. We have a World Cup coming up. It was bought coming up, of course. But I will give them credit here for working with FIFPro and trying to do something about this. Let's see what they can actually put together and do.
I'm gonna be a little cynical here and think that I'm gonna say that I think the reason why they're doing this, especially in this time frame, is because they know the amount of white hot takes that are going to be launched around the World Cup, especially around the host country, and so they're trying to get out in front of addressing that while they can. And this kind of gets brought into it as a result. Which if something via self-preservation has a knock-on good effect, I'm okay with it.
I'll take it.
In the end, yes, as we're seeing on the Twitch pitch here, the racists have a bank account. The racists buy kits, they buy tickets, and they go home and they engage with the social media. Not 100% all, racist, vile trash, and as a result of that, they're like, for the teams that are handling it and the teams that are doing the cross-referencing, because if you have somebody who's chirping stuff nonstop and they post a picture of, hey, I'm at this game today, it's not that difficult for these teams with the cameras around to do some basic cross-referencing and say, yep, it's this clown right here, and identify him. So for the teams that are actually doing something great, but I agree, let's get some federation involvement.
Yeah, it needs to be bigger.
And I will point toward the FIGC in Italy immediately and say they have to do something stronger. And that's the one thing I hope for with more American investment in Italy, is that they're going to say, hey, look, we kind of know something about making big-time money, and if you want to really open this thing up to a massive audience, you can't make your product toxic from the jump. And so if you can either solve this, or we can take our money and leave and your league can collapse. It's up to you. So,
I hope so. Spain's got work to do in it too. Every country does. Every league does. Some, it's far more pronounced than others. and I hope that they do. Spain, Bilbao. We mentioned this morning that Marcelo Bielsa could be returning to Athletic Club. You have a presidential election coming up, and this is very typical in Spain where a number of the clubs are member-driven. We've mentioned it with Barcelona before. Barcelona has had candidates do this sort of thing where, somebody says, I will bring David Beckham, and he was already going to go to Madrid, but I'll bring him. Yeah, I will sign this player, Ronaldinho. I will bring Johan Cruyff. You got all that. Yeah. So Bielsa is associated with Iñaki Arechavaleta, who is one of the candidates for president at Athletic Club. But another candidate, John Uriarte, has lined up Ernesto Valverde, another big former manager, not at Bilbao, yes, but also many other places like Barcelona. So you've got voters, in a way, deciding between what manager they want, because both presidential candidates have lined themselves up with previous club managers and pretty big names. Crazy.
I want to see Bielsa in MLS.
Never take it.
I know. But that's what I want.
Never take it. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see the press conferences because he would not do all of the media all the time, but he would do one long press conference where he'd answer everybody's questions.
Baby. I love it.
Not even the PowerPoint, the old projector. He's gonna put this transparency piece of plastic
the overhead
up there.
Projector with the transparent.
Yes.
With the marker.
Yes. We studied 4,000 corner kick opportunities from FC Dallas, and this is what we discovered. That's what I want to see. I want Houston to lodge a complaint with the league because Bielsa scouts were peering above the practice facility. I want all of it. Give me all of it. So, but if Bilbao lands this, good for them. I hope it works out because everywhere he goes, the players are always like, yeah, we run like, madmen. We play this crazy, insane style, but the man's a genius, so.
Just so you know, I wasn't 100% certain, but now we have confirmation. U.S. and Canada will be playing in the mud pit in Honduras.
Oh, want to be famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on blankviewers.com. No, I don't want to be famous.
Yeah, report that person. Both teams are warming up off the pitch because it's in such bad condition.
The best part about the Bielsa thing that you talk about, Nick, is the time he got caught doing that. And then used his press conference, which you thought like, oh man, he's going to have to cop to this. It's going to be awkward. Now he just used the press
Everybody
conference.
thought he was going to resign.
Yeah.
And then, how long was it?
It was a long one.
He basically
said, I don't need to do all this. I do it because I'm crazy, right. But I don't need to do this because I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know here.
Yeah. Not only am I not going to resign, I'm going to tell you everything about this team now.
Yeah. And he did. He broke down the corners where the ball ended up, which takers did this on which percentage of the ball. It was one of the most revelatory,
legitimately psychopath behavior.
Yes, and that's basically what he said. He's like, "Yeah, this is true."
Right, and not to mention, look, there's that story where the ultras show up at his house and he walks outside with a hand grenade.
That was back in the early days at Newell's, yes.
That's my kind of manager. If you're willing to walk outside sporting a hand grenade, you're welcome at my party anytime.
You're gonna track down my home address at 411.com or info link. I'm gonna walk out with a grenade, brother.
That's right. We're all going. Me, you, people 15 back. You're all going. What are you gonna do with your season tickets then, pal? Got this pineapple grenade. It's happening.
Yeah, it's a good thing Bielsa hasn't jumped on Twitter because, man, he would be out of hand on that thing.
I hope he does that when he retires. All he does is just school people nonstop.
Jeez. So before we get into picks of the week, we are going to do something new. I'm going to play Quizmaster a little bit with some of you folks out there and these three knuckleheads. But we'll get into that here in just a second. We do have an update on one transfer. A player, he was linked with MLS, ended up not coming to MLS. He went to Al Nassr, Cabecita Rodriguez. He is going to Club America from Al Nassr. He was with Cruz Azul, helped them win their title. He is going to come back to Liga MX. There was some thought maybe he'd be one of these guys like Columbus is going for to come into MLS. LAFC had been interested, but Club America is going to get him. He's one of these players who is thinking about the World Cup. Mm-hmm. He's 28 years old. He was great at Cruz Azul. He opted for the cash. I don't know what size the briefcase was that Al Nassr brought to him. Probably not as big as they brought to Pitti, but pretty good. Mm-hmm. And he only scored 1 goal in 8 games. He really just has struggled in Saudi Arabia as a whole, struggled at the club. He needs to play. He knew he had to move. He ends up coming back to Liga MX, and it has been announced this evening by Al Nassr that he's going to Club America. So that is official, at least on one side of it. And they mentioned specifically, like, he's going to Club America, not that he's leaving the club. Thank you, blah, 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 blah. They said they're selling the contract to Club America. So he's not going to LAFC. LAFC might have to get somebody else to replace Carlos Vela. Well, we'll see.
$6 million, it looks like, was the transfer fee. $6
million transfer fee. $4 million of that's going to go to Cruz Azul. They had a pretty nice sell on here to make that work. So good business for Cruz Azul to get that done. Not players purely from Liga MX, but Mexican national team players. We've talked about this from a U.S. perspective. We haven't talked about El Tri. They got guys who are on that borderline that are probably going to have to make moves. Hector Herrera is one. He's coming to Houston. He was not a regular at Atleti. He's 31. He needed to play. He should be part of the national team at the World Cup. He's going to be with Houston Dynamo starting July 7th. Nestor Araujo, he went to Celta de Vigo in 2018, signed a 5-year deal, 133 league appearances. Contract expires next summer, but Celta de Vigo has already said, we're not doing an extension, so we're not bringing you back. Probably looking to move him. Another one that Club America is looking at that they're trying to rack up because they've had a couple of bad seasons here and they need to change that. Johan Vasquez, he went to Genoa, 23 years old, quickly adapted to Serie A. He scored 1 goal. He's a defender, but he's had a goal in 27 games. They got relegated. Now he's under contract to Genoa until 26. He was loaned to a team that is moving up, Cremonese. So we'll see how that goes. Won't see many Mexicans in Serie A, Nick.
No, I think it's just a non-traditional path more than anything else. I think that, based on what you see out of Liga MX, I think a lot of Mexican players would do really well in Serie A.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I think
pace is somewhat similar.
The pace, yeah, and not just that, but they're used to playing with a level of physicality that I think that some people from other markets are not used to dealing with. Where if you have someone who does a bit of a reckless challenge in Serie A and the ref doesn't call it, they're not going to, as long as they're willing and able, they're going to get up and get right back into the play. So I think there's a lot of missed cross-pollination opportunities there for teams where you can get, again, like we talk about with, Argentina and Ecuador and some in Peru and Bolivia, some of these clubs where you could get players, like really good players at a great value. There's a lot of other places that go under the radar, and I don't know why Liga MX is not tapped more for talent, especially for a league that's trying to watch its pennies like Serie A. I don't understand because there's a lot of talent there.
That's why, though, because Liga MX, the players make good money salary-wise.
Yeah.
So they're a little reluctant to leave unless they're going, to a bigger club or to make more money. And, credit to Vasquez for going to Genoa, going to a club that he probably wasn't making a whole lot more. And there are some clubs that are more willing to sell than others. Pachuca, like we mentioned in the lead up to last week. Pachuca is a club who develops players and moves them to Europe. But others, look, if you can get to Club America or to Chivas, you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid well. And for some guys, it's comfortable. Diego Lainez is another young player who did go to Europe, 22 years old, went to Real Betis in 2019. So he went very, very young. Only 134 minutes in 7 games last season in the league. For a 22-year-old potential future star, that's not becoming a future star. He is linked with a move to Almeria, and he's also linked with a move, Jarrett, to your old friend Matias Almeida's AEK Athens.
Just laying down some Some good connections out there in Athens. Oh, Matthias. I hope you're happy, and I hope your tech shelter is fully set up.
Almeida to Greece is still weird in and of itself. To bring Diego Lainez with him,
I don't understand. That's the thing is, I don't understand.
The amount of tax fraud there is legendary.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
you get away with a lot.
there is that.
The Spanish tax man is undefeated. The Greek tax man is basically the Washington Generals.
Spanish tax man just got Samuel Eto'o. Got him on a big fine, suspended sentence, all that. One last one, Mexican national team, guys on the fringe trying to get into better club situations. Orbelín Pineda. He joined Celta de Vigo during the winter window. 6 months in La Liga. He played 94 minutes. Eduardo Caldet he brought him in, didn't really seem to like him. So he's got to go somewhere. Chivas and Toluca are talking about bringing him back. So, like we talked about with the U.S. men's national team, mentioned it earlier, Tyler Adams, figuring out what he's going to do. We've talked about the goalkeepers. There's quite a few national teams, and this window is just going to be affected by players who are looking 6 months down the road and saying, man, I got to be playing more games if I want to go to the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially with the next World Cup, where you're talking about a field expansion. I mean, you're going to...
That'll get weird down the road. I think in this one, you're going to see more short-term moves than we've seen typically. I think you're going to see some guys who are like one of these guys who's under contract through 26, like Vasquez. So, Genoa's got him under contract. Genoa probably thinks they can get promoted. Okay, cool. But he's like, I gotta go play right now at a high level if I want to go to the national team and also improve my stature as an asset to you.
Kind of
you
like
got to send some
goalkeepers we know.
Yeah, like we just said, yes, the goalkeepers for the U.S. are in this situation, but it's across the board. Every team's got some players that are in this boat, and I think you're going to see some maybe 6-month loans for some of these guys to make sure that they're going to play, and probably options to buy. And it could get weird as we get into the summer and get more into this window.
It could get very interesting for some of these fringe teams that just missed out this time. They could be involved next time when you do expand it. The Ukraines and Scotlands of the world. You're going to have players that are tied to those national teams. They're going to be saying, hey, I need to make a move because our odds of getting into the World Cup have gone up and I want to be a part of that squad.
Yep.
So are you going to be a Calvin Ramsey and try and make your move to Liverpool? Or if you're already in that situation, you're going to say, hey, can you loan me out? I got to get minutes somewhere somewhat competitively because I got a World Cup coming up and I'm not going to see more than a handful of minutes with you.
Right. And I think, but here's the thing. I think this is one of the rare situations where on both sides, we're both right in that you're going to see immediately with the World Cup now in a later fall window, these little tiny chess moves, these little quick loan moves to try to get that spike of popularity, that spike of visibility. And then what we're talking about, me and Jarrett, where with the next field, like, hold up, I'm a young player now, but I kind of feel like there's this glass ceiling where I'm at. I need to make this next big risky move instead of maybe playing it safe for now. Try to take that big risk jump and try to prove myself maybe a little sooner than expected because this country that I'm affiliated with, that's been on the fringe for a couple of years now, or the past couple of cycles rather, is now going to be almost certainly a player to get in. So it's
not going to be the European country so much. They're going to get 3 more spots. It's some of the players from Asia who's going to have a big increase from CONCACAF. It's going to be some of the Costa Rican players, some of the Honduran players, some of the Jamaican players.
Yep.
South America gets, I think, 1.5 spots. I think they go up to 6 because they're at 4.5 right now, so they go up to 6.
Well, I know what you mean. It's just I know. It's just funny phrasing.
Yeah, I don't know how else to phrase it. You tell me. That's how FIFA does it, so I'm just repeating their phrasing. But yeah, Europe's only going to get 3 more spots. So I mean, you're looking at the teams that missed out in the playoffs as they would go this time around. The 3 playoff finals, those teams would go, and that's it. So Italy, you still wouldn't have qualified under this format. No. That's not cool. That's got to change, Nick.
But good luck telling any of those countries that they're all going to go into it with like, hey, man, 3 more spots.
Oh, for sure.
We get a good draw next time. That could be us.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, FIFA's looking at this thing and they're saying, okay, Italy keeps somehow finding unique and fun ways to throw themselves into a paper shredder. So apparently us rolling out the red carpet the way we did this last time doesn't quite work for them because it doesn't interest them enough. But we also look and we see Colombia on the outside looking in. We see, a couple of these other countries on the outside looking in, that it would be the tournament is just better with them in it. So we need to try to expand. And I love that people think that, oh, well, this means that, one of these, other small time countries again. No, it's a way for these other countries like my beloved Italy or Colombia or, Chile or whoever who somehow hit themselves in the face with a shovel can trip their way into a World Cup, have a better opportunity to do it, and bring in
both.
the money.
It is both.
Can I tell you what would be hilarious?
Yeah, go.
I can tell you what's funny, and El Mataflow, I hope you'll enjoy this. I hope when they expand the World Cup, Chile still somehow misses out and still gets mad.
They will.
I just want to see the reaction.
Oh, they of course they will. Now here's just since we're all excited about the 2026 World Cup around here, to compare the spots, Asia goes from 4.5 to, it gets more fun, 8 1/3. Have fun with that one, Jarrett. 8 1/3. Africa goes from 5 to 9 1/3.
They're doing classic. They're going to do classic Roman decimation punishment.
I'll get into the playoff tournament in a second to explain it.
God,
it's FIFA.
Is it Serie B
this
level?
Is no. This is not news. Like, this has been out there for a while. It's so far down the line, and the U.S. doesn't have to go through this next time. So whatever. Or they haven't officially said that. We'll figure it out. CONCACAF goes from 3.5 to 6 1/3. CONMEBOL goes from 4.5 to 6 1/3. Oceania gets 1 guaranteed spot and a third from a half spot. And UEFA goes from 13 to 16. So they get 3. They don't go into the playoff. The playoff tournament, the thirds, 6 teams go into a tournament for the last 2 spots. So 1 team per confederation, except for UEFA, because they already get 16 spots. And then 1 additional team from the confederation of the host countries, which will be CONCACAF. So they get an additional third. So CONCACAF gets 6 2/3. 2 of the teams are seeded. The seeded teams will play. It is kind of Serie B-ish. The seeded teams will play for a World Cup spot against the winners of the first 2 knockout games. So the unseeded teams, they play basically a quarterfinal-ish, and then they go into a semifinal that takes you to a spot.
Yeah, here's what's going to happen. Italy is going to
It'll replace the Confederations Cup, essentially.
Yeah, so Italy's going to slaughter everyone up until it comes time to World Cup qualify, and then they are going to fall asleep at the wheel, and then they're going to have to go and play like the Federated States of Micronesia. They
won't. No,
it's 16 flat.
Europe doesn't get a third. Europe does not play in this.
Oh my God!
So you will have potentially Tahiti facing Jamaica for a spot at the World Cup. Not Italy.
See, then we'll just be out again.
You get into the Sweet 16, or you're not in.
Which, if Italy doesn't make it, it's okay because it means I'm just going to save a ton of money, and I'm going to be able to do things like be an Uber driver for the Atlanta games, and that.
Nick, start building the in-law suite onto your house now, please, so you can rent it.
We already got it. Where I'm at now is the in-law suite. It's a converted garage that is an in-law suite. There's a little kitchenette over there. There's like a refrigerator. There's its own washer and dryer and all that. So we're gonna rent this thing out.
They can rent it out and tell them for an extra $100 they can join soccer over there if they're in town when it happens.
Right.
Jeez.
I'm saying we will look. It is.
It's all going to depend on who plays in Atlanta.
It is pay to play at the Leafy residence. Pay to play. We're going to have. Oh yes. This is.
You going to make Jackie Fresh pay rent?
Everybody paying
Coco's
rent.
Right. The World Cup is going to send the Duchess to college.
Yeah, everybody's paying rent. Everybody's paying. Look, we got Father Guido Sarducci here. He's in town. How you doing, Father? You doing good? Yes, we're doing very good today. I'm here to see my team play. They didn't make the World Cup, but I did tickets ready purchase. So yeah, everything. It's like if you ever spent any time in New York, New Jersey, Philly, like anywhere in the Northeast, you always saw like Big Sam Celarama. It's like, we got the biggest, best deals of all time. Oh, you're an idiot.
Eddie.
Yeah, Crazy Eddie. You got to be borderline lobotomized if you're not here on Saturday. Like that's what it's going to be right here. Crazy Eddie.
Are insane.
Yeah. It's going to be like, we're going to have people like in dancing chicken outfits and whatever outside. We're going to have the big inflated wacky arm men. We have all of it.
I volunteer to wear a costume if I have to. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Izzy to come back.
That's right. It's the profit engine. We're gonna have this thing is to be a profit engine.
Madness.
Profit
All
engine.
right. Let's see who is driving the trivia engine in this show.
Not it.
Don't come up with a really stupid answer this time, John. Please. You've offended me with some of your answers in previous questions. People on the Twitch pitch,
right.
you
Dutch
can
is
play
going to
along
college.
as well. If you are listening to this later, you can see if you would have known the answer before everybody else as you play along. But I'm going to throw a few questions at you and see who can get it. I want to see who is the first between the Twitch pitch and the three co-hosts to name one of 7 Colombian players who has made over 60 Premier League appearances.
60 Premier League.
There's 7 Colombians who have made over 60 Premier League appearances.
Was it Bebeto?
Nope. You're thinking Brazilian.
Right.
Colombian. Let's see. Nobody in the Twitch pitch has had it yet. I can't do polls from here, Will. I'm not doing polls. That's too complicated. Sharif says Falcao. That is incorrect.
Oh,
who? What? Hamas? No, not Hamas. He did not make 60 appearances. One season. Yerry Mina Nile is correct.
wow.
79 appearances. The all-time leader from Colombians in the Premier League is Juan Pablo Angel, 175. All right.
Faustino Asprilla?
Nope.
He's at
Didn't get
Newcastle
that.
for a bit. Didn't get that.
Niall gets it. Okay. Now, this one, I'm going to ask this one to Jarrett specifically.
Jesus.
It's a little complicated. The last 6 U.S. men's national team managers, who are they?
Oh, my God. So,
last
you have
6.
yeah,
So Berhalter is one.
Berhalter, Bruce,
Mm-hmm.
Jurgen.
Mm-hmm.
God, it was Bobo.
Mm-hmm. You got 2 more.
Oh, God. Was it Bruce again?
No, he's still there. He only gets one
He
name.
only gets one hit.
Yeah, only one hit. I'll give you a hint.
Steve
You
Sampson,
haven't.
does it?
It does go to Steve Sampson, but there is one more that you have forgotten about.
There's one I
interim.
can't think of.
The interim guy.
Who was it?
Dave
Was
Saracen.
it Sarakin?
Dave Sarakin. Yes,
Thank
John
you.
got Sarakin first.
I'm thinking like there's one more interim I can't think of. Oh wait, it's Sarakin.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you, John.
Sarakin was in the mix there.
The obscure fill-in was the one that I would get. Yes.
This is going to be a fun one. 55 UEFA nations. There are 7 that have never sent a player to the Premier League. What are the 7 UEFA nations that have never had a player play in the Premier League?
San Marino.
That's one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Liechtenstein.
Is Gibraltar?
Liechtenstein is 2. Gibraltar, no, I guess have had one.
Wow, it's probably a cop.
Andorra.
3, yes.
Absolutely.
Nick is killing it. You got 4 more.
Is Estonia part of the Baltics or part of the UEFA?
They are not here.
The Faroe Islands.
Nope, they've had one.
Wow.
Respect the Faroe Islands, John.
Nice. Excellent.
Let's see.
Pilgrim's got one. Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
They just got shot down for it, but Greenland. If only they were in UEFA.
No, they're Denmark.
Abby's got one. Azerbaijan.
Okay.
So
I thought Azerbaijan's in Asia, to be honest. But
2 left.
Vatican City.
Bert says Latvia.
Nope, they've had it.
Kosovo.
They've had it. Wow. Byrne mentioned a couple that have been said. The others have had it. Ricky, no. Niall, no. Will, no. KFC, we've got Liechtenstein there on the board. Nick had that.
Just think about a country that has somebody who has won Metrics World's Strongest Man. It's probably
does the Vatican count?
No,
Vatican's
said
independent.
that.
No.
You said the
North
Vatican?
Macedonia.
No, they've had. Come on, they've had Premier League. You're the England guy.
England.
Abby's got Moldova. That's another one. Abby's killing it too.
Are we
One left.
recognizing Sicily as its own independent piece?
No,
they just got a national team, by the way.
but
That's right.
it's not
Scotland's
official.
pushing
They're
hard
not
for a
UEFA.
referendum, by the way.
Malta has had it, Kefsey. There's one left on the board.
It's not Kazakhstan.
It is Kazakhstan. Why did you say
Wow.
it's not?
So I thought somebody else had said it. And
No.
I was okay.
No.
Wow.
Okay. Cool.
Kazakhstan counts as UEFA?
Yes.
Yeah.
They are
Wow. Coco says I said it.
You said, Coco said Kazakhstan. Where did he go? Going back? Yeah, Coco, you did say it a long time ago. Sorry. I didn't scroll back far enough.
Good work, Coco.
The
good work, Coco.
unreliability of the stands
Got it.
between Asia and UEFA is by the way, go look up the history of some of these, like Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan. Go look up the political history if you want to go down a wormhole for a night.
Yeah, you'll be gone. U.S. Canada getting ready to kick off U20s. The 7 nations, no players ever to the Premier League: Andorra, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Moldova, and San Marino.
And it's completely understandable why Andorra and San Marino would not.
Well, yes, but the Faroe Islands did, and you dissed them badly. Okay, name a Costa Rican who has scored in the Premier League. Who's got it first?
Joel Campbell.
Yes.
Yeah.
He scored 3 times. Nowhere near the all-time leader, though. Paulo Wanchope. Yes.
I used to go to a pub in Smyrna. It was an Arsenal bar with a buddy of mine who was a big Arsenal fan. And God, this is back when this is like 2011, 2012, maybe 2014. And he was always like, why do we keep sending this man out on loan when Jack Wilshere can't stay on the field?
Well, there is the just inconsistent, wild actions of Joel Campbell. That would be the reason.
That is true.
Yes. How many different players have scored for England against Italy since the year 2000? How many players?
Now, this is regardless of competition or specific competitions?
This is any game they've played.
72.
You're saying, John, that 72 players from England have scored against Italy since the year 2000. Nick, I can tell you where John lives if you don't know, if you want to go slap him. That is incredibly offensive. Coco got it right with 7.
See, I was thinking 10, but
7.
okay.
Robbie Fowler in 2002. Phil Jagielka in 2012. Jermaine Defoe in 2012. Daniel Sturridge in 2014. Andros Townsend in 2015. Jamie Vardy in 2018. And Luke Shaw in 2021.
We've renamed the Wimbledini, so it's ours now. We own it. So it's Wimbledini.
Coco is killing it. Okay, here's one for you. Yes. Here's one for you, Nick.
Oh God, test anxiety.
I'll give, if you can get 3 of these. I think you can pull 3. 9 foreign players have won the Serie A Golden Boot more than once. 9 foreigners have won the Serie A Golden Boot more than once, twice or more.
Shevchenko.
Can you name 3 of them? Shevchenko is 1.
Ronaldo.
Nope. That's 1 strike.
Nick's having
Van
ass.
Van
He's having
Basten
ass
is 2.
flashbacks right now.
So I've got 2. And then I would say is it Ricky Kaká?
Nope.
No, not Ricky.
That's 2 strikes.
I got 2 out of 3 though so far.
I know.
Oh, Eto'o. Good
No.
call. No.
No.
Wow.
So the ones you probably don't have, Gunnar Nordahl from Sweden, 5 times.
Balotelli's Italian. He's an
Yep.
Italian national.
Michel Platini 3
Got the goal?
times.
Oh, Platini.
Antonio Di Natale twice. Ettore Puricelli from Uruguay twice. Harold Nielsen from Denmark twice. You got Van Basten. Here's the ones I'm very disappointed in you, Nick. Zlatan.
Yeah, that's the one
I was
twice.
begging you to say that one. It's the layup.
Yeah.
And the one I am most disappointed in you in, Nick.
Okay.
Mauro Icardi.
Why would I? That man, I keep that buffoonish.
You've been an
That buffoonish chipmunk brain
Buffoon.
mother blanker out of my mind.
Man.
Nick has installed a Google extension. You know that you can have like those Google extensions that change the word.
Block.
So like I think they built one that was like every time the word Brexit appeared on your screen, it would change it to something else. That's what Nick has.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Maradona only won it 1 time, the leading scorer in Italy, and not very long either. He was there because he discovered the joys of cocaine for him, and it didn't last very long. Anyway,
Also the Italian organized crime syndicate.
well, that went along with it. That was part of the mix. Here's another one for Nick.
Ooh.
10 Italians have made over 100 Premier League appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Not English First Division, so not going back in the day, since the Prem started, 92. Mm-hmm. 10 Italians have made over 100 appearances in the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name 3 of them?
Gianfranco Zola.
Yes, he is the most, 229.
Is Di Matteo counting as that, or is he counting?
Di Matteo does count, 119.
Okay. And then, Di Canio. Yeah,
Di Canio, yep.
Yeah,
second, 190.
With his unique celebration.
Yeah. You want to go for extra credit?
Because
you got 3 in a row.
Sure.
Got any? Balotelli, no, burned. He did not get to 100 appearances in the Prem.
He didn't get enough appearances.
He was shooting
He didn't get 100.
fireworks off.
He didn't get 100, but they were all of the ones he had were very entertaining.
Yeah, there's that. Pistone, yes.
Okay.
149.
There you go. I'll leave it at that.
The other 2 that I think most people would know, one's a little more of a wild card. Cudicini, 161 in goal. He was a backup forever. And Jorginho got there, 125.
All right. I was not sure about his time there at Chelsea if that counted, but okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing that Chiellini's about to play more MLS games than he did Premier League games.
Chiellini never went to the Premier League, Jared.
I said it's amazing. He's about to play more MLS games.
It's not amazing.
Then it's funny to me.
I mean, it's going to be funny watching him play.
It's going to be funny watching him in
We're
Houston.
going here.
Absolutely true.
It's going to be funny watching him play in Houston.
Just wait till they're going to have to play a road game in Miami at 3 p.m. and he's going to be chasing Campana around the field.
U2, maybe.
Anywhere. I mean, anywhere. Like any place in the United States and even in Canada in July is going to be unpleasant for that man.
They are going to have to run him as a sweeper. Like, there's going to be no offside trap. There's no flat back 4. Brother's going to be a sweeper, like at the 18. Like, don't go anywhere else. You
like
stay
the
right
end
there
of the parade in the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, sweeping everything up.
Carlos Vela is going to leave Los Angeles and leave the lineup, and Giorgio Chiellini is going to come in.
That's a fair fight.
Yeah. Here's another one for Jarrett. Jarrett, I need you to name 3 of the last 9 Scotland national team managers.
Oh, my God. Do I have to?
Yes, you do. 3 of the last 9. One is kind of an easy one because you were yelling about him recently.
Oh my God.
He didn't get the job done here recently.
Yeah, well,
I'm trying to give you like the open square to get started.
I'm just let me be mad about Steve Clark, please.
Okay, you can be mad about him. That's one.
Alex McLeish was one of them.
Yes, he was the one before, and he was going all the way back to 2007 as well.
Yeah, they don't like changing managers very much. Gordon Strachan was another one.
Yes.
Strachan.
2013 to 17.
Yeah, they went through the stretch where they, I don't know. Honestly, you might be able to go back to Jock Stein and get into the back the last 9.
No, you actually had a little bit of rotation. You had Malky Mackay, I guess, in there for a minute between Strachan and McLeish.
Wow, you did.
Billy
Craig
Stark
Levine was
in
one,
2012.
too.
Who?
Craig Levine was one.
Yep, he was before Stark. George Burley, 08-09. Walter Smith, 04-07. And Tommy Burns, 2004.
Yeah. Oh, and for the record, 3 of 4 matches in a row for LAFC are all in the state of Texas in August and September.
Yeah, they're going to have fun. He's going to melt. It'll be hilarious.
Sir Alex, I'll never forget that Sir Alex cut his teeth by leading Aberdeen to European glory.
Yeah. And then went to manage Scotland in the 1986 World Cup in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. And learned a lot and cut his teeth at the feet of Jock Stein in those moments. Jock Stein was actually managing Scotland's national team when he had his fatal heart attack.
That's right. Okay, let me get one more good trivia question and see who can get it to be the trivia master, possibly beating Coco. Because Coco's been pretty good. Yeah. Coco has been very good. I need a good one here.
Yes, the question is, why isn't one of the managers Shinsuke Nakamura, who is still playing in Japan at like 43 years old?
He might be playing for one of those teams with the weird mascots. Probably is. 5 players who can represent the United States have played for Aston Villa. Name them.
Indiana Vassilev.
Yes, 1.
Yeah, that's the easiest. That's the first one that popped into my head.
There's an even easier one, but go ahead.
Brad Kazan.
Yes, thank you, Jared. I was about to get offended. 3 more. Lots of people yelled Brad, thankfully.
Yeah.
3 more.
People got mad at Brad because he was giving up goals for Aston Villa in that defense was just basically a shooting gallery.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
3 more. There's probably going to be anger at 1. One might not get mentioned, and another one, it should be there. Yes, Will. There's 1. Brad Friedel. There's another one, Ricky, Eric Lehigh.
Good.
1 left.
Eric Lehigh. Jesus.
Not Spectre. Not Lawless.
He played for Padova.
He did play for Padova. And every team in Major League Soccer when he was in the league.
Yeah.
All right, last guess. John, are you going to guess anything?
Not a clue.
It's Aston Villa. You don't know Aston Villa?
No, because the ones that I knew, Friedel, Gazan, and Vassilev, are already off the board.
It's this player is still playing. He is still active in professional football.
Oh, God.
Who is it, Nick? Not Dom Dwyer, although that'd be amazing.
No.
Abby! Michael Bradley.
Michael Bradley.
Oh, God, he did, didn't he? Jesus.
Michael Bradley.
I've blocked that out because all I remember is his time at Roma, and it went pretty well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Roma went pretty well. It was, Chievo before that? That was really good.
Yep.
He was outstanding there. He got the move to Roma, and then Roma added like 57 different.
Nick's going to chew the inside of his mouth off in a minute.
They just booed him off the show, by the way.
Well, that's very disappointing. Michael Bradley's one of the best U.S. men's national team players you're going to find ever.
My favorite thing is that anytime he appears on social media and the inevitable boo birds come out, like it's the Cape Parade from Canada who's like, we don't understand why you keep booing this man. He's just an absolute treasure of the Greater Toronto area, and you're like, they instantly just get swamped. Just instantly gets swamped. Like they're just trying to cheer on their boy, and oh my god, they just all get like, it's like, yeah, you maple eating clowns, get out of here. Then you take your bald headed bum with you.
There it is.
Go ahead.
I will never forget
Go ahead and
2017.
Get out of my face.
I will never forget the viciousness of the booing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Decision Day when Josie Altidore
2017
and 2017 when Josie Altidore and Michael Bradley showed up. Oh man, that stadium was toxic. Also, that was one of my favorite moments because some dumbass threw a beer from the stadium, from the stands, and should have been banned.
Yeah.
But Seba grabs it and starts drinking it and basically cheers as the fan. Thanks, man.
So I will torture Nick with one more question. Then we will continue down the Michael Bradley trivia wormhole. We've mentioned that he played for Toronto and Roma and Chievo and Aston Villa. Who are the other 3 clubs he played for professionally? We got the last 4 that he played for. Who are the other 3? Where did he start?
He was with Chivas, right? Chivas USA.
Nope. It wasn't MLS though.
Well, it wasn't with Daddy at Chicago, right?
Not at Chicago, but the Metro Stars.
Oh man.
And then he went to the Netherlands and played for Heerenveen. But who did Bradley play for in the Bundesliga?
Bundesliga. I wanted him to go to Dortmund back in the day, but
he didn't go quite there.
It wasn't Frankfurt, was it?
No.
Eintracht.
Mönchengladbach. He went to Mönchengladbach.
God.
Played over 70 games there. Outside of Toronto, that's where he's played the most games. Was Mönchengladbach.
Wow.
2008 to 2011. All right. Picks of the week? Yes?
Yes.
No.
Let's do picks. Well, no? Well, you didn't play last week, Nick, so you don't even get to say. Man. It's probably for the best. It was not a great week for the majority of folks. All right. Picks of the week. Here we go. Yes, Jared just ran away. Good timing, Jared. Picks of the week.
He says he'll be right back.
Tuesday, Seattle hosted Vancouver. Jarrett picked Vancouver, so he left. I picked a draw. The Twitch pitch and John picked Seattle to win at minus 182. They won 4-0. Pretty dominant. Wednesday, Atletico Tucumán hosting Lanús. Everybody picked a draw and got it wrong, except for John, who picked Tucumán and got it right. Plus 160. John moved to 415. Thursday, Botafogo hosted Sao Paulo. I picked Sao Paulo. The Twitch pitch picked Sao Paulo. We were wrong. Jarrett and John picked a draw. They were wrong. Botafogo got the win.
Rats.
Friday, NWSL, Washington Spirit hosting Racing Louisville. I picked Washington. Jarrett picked Washington. Twitch pitch picked Washington. Wrong. John picked a draw and got it right. Saturday, everybody picked the New Orleans Jesters to win. They won like 6-2 over Tallahassee. There were no odds on this. It was plus 100, so everybody got 200. Okay. Sunday, the Suwon Samsung Blue Wings hosted FC Seoul. I picked the Blue Wings, wrong. John picked a draw, wrong. Twitch pitch picked a draw, wrong. FC Seoul got the win, and Jarrett got it right. That put Jarrett into the positive barely at 63. I was negative. Twitch pitch finished negative. The prop bet The prop bet was the number of goals scored in the Macau FA Cup match between Monte Carlo hosting Casa de Portugal. I picked 6 goals in the game. Twitch Pitch also picked 6 goals in the game. Jarrett picked 9 goals in the game. John picked 13 goals in the game. Nobody was close.
Uh-oh.
Monte Carlo won 20-0.
Wow. No.
John was the closest without going over, so that
There
gave
needs to
him
be an
100
investigation.
more.
Wow.
Probably. Casa de Portugal was really bad. So John wins with 840.
Oh, there's got to be an investigation.
Jarrett got
like South
63. The Twitch pitch was minus 45. I was horrible, minus 300. Nick didn't play.
Wow. There's got to be an investigation like they had in South
I think Casa de Portugal is just crap. I think the Portugal house is just garbage. I don't think there's an investigation in Macau. I think they're just bad.
Remember when I wanted to pick that game?
Yeah,
Jesus,
no, it
thank
was
you
on the
for
board,
saving me.
and then we're like,
Thank you for saving me from myself.
Like, yeah,
I appreciate
we
that.
Shouldn't
You
go
made
with
the
that
right.
game.
You made the right suggestion. I'm proud of you.
Canada's on the board in the U20s with the first goal of the match.
That's not good. Monte Carlo, they won their game before that 9-0. They won a game before that 7-0. They're kind of dominant. They'd beaten Casa de Portugal 9-1 before that. Casa de Portugal, and I think this is why we ended up not going with this game. They have lost 20-0, 6-0. They ended up winning 2-1 over somebody. 9-0, 2-1, 4-0 loss, 3-1 loss, 9-1 loss, 9-0 loss. They suck. They're garbage. John, do you want to talk about your winnings for the week?
Yes, I do, actually. Sometimes
You already did this one.
you got to look at the bigger picture.
Sometimes you need to get a new promo.
Sometimes you're looking from pillar to post and you're sitting there and you're looking at the week and you're going from Tuesday to Sunday and you're looking at that big picture and you're wondering, what steps do I take to get from A to Z? Sometimes it's A to B, B to C, C to D, work your way all the way to G, and sometimes to Z, and sometimes it works. Like it did last week because you're looking at the big picture. Sometimes folks sit there and they're disappointed because you take the middle ground. But a lot of times there are a lot of things in play. All of these external factors.
Point of order, John. You only got one draw correct.
How many of us look at those things called intangibles? Jimmy the Greek looked at intangibles all the time. Looked at intangibles all the time on NFL Today. He'd go down to that number 6 category, and it would be intangibles. Intangibles was that wide, all-encompassing term to sit there and say, there's a reason that I'm picking this because I've done research, and it doesn't have to do with offense, defense, special teams, or anything like that. There's an intangible out there, and it's category number 6 that we've got to look at sometimes when we're looking at all these matchups. And you're wondering, what is it that's given me that little spidey sense of going, no, I don't want to go in this direction. No, I don't want to go in this direction. I'm going to go right here.
Who in the blue hell are you?
It's referred to as the winner, Rock. I won the week, Rock. That's what happens.
If you're going to recycle a promo, make it shorter.
I'm not recycling a promo.
Yes, you are.
Fine.
This promo's good. Keep going, John.
You work your way through category 6. You add that little bit of thought. You're sitting there and saying,
What in the blue hell is category 6?
The intangibles, brother.
I'm
That's
about
what
to
are
turn
you
on a
talking
food
about.
processor.
I got interrupted by somebody who decided to bring Dwayne into the conversation.
Yes,
And that's
because
who
he was
the hell
confused.
I was. Pay attention. Lock in,
You've
Dwayne.
done this promo. Give me
Lock
a new one.
in, Dwayne. You got to look and sit there and go, Dwayne, focus like you are with the XFL 2023. Lock it down. Don't look at the outside. Don't look at all these other things that are influences. Don't sit there and look at the folks pointing their finger and wondering why you're stealing logos.
Don't look
Don't
at John.
focus on
Don't
all
look at
this
John's
other
promo.
stuff.
Don't get confused.
Don't look at all this stuff. You go with what's in your heart. And if it's category 6, those intangibles that triggers that spidey sense that makes it go one way or the other, and it ends up getting you at plus 800, and it was a horizon job over everybody else, and I humbly appreciate everyone else's interest in participating in this every single week. But sometimes you end up being the guy that works all the way down the line, and you're looking at everybody else who is sitting there going 15 seconds back in there in turn number 2, and they're wondering, when is this race over? This race is officially over for this week. I take this win. I go forward. And I love each and every one of you for hanging out with us every single week. But winner this week is me, and it didn't even have to do with the game on Friday, brother. It went from Tuesday all the way to Sunday. Let's go to next week.
All right. He came out of turn 4 and hit that corner absolutely perfectly.
No, he didn't. He ran into pit lane. Good God, y'all give him so much. Everything is great.
He started on pit lane.
He ended on pit lane with a blown engine because that didn't make any sense. None of it. And it was recycled.
He caught the corner on turn 4, hit the line. It was a little bit of the high line, but that's okay. That was the fast line coming out of turn 4 at Pocono.
See, I was muted.
Turn 3 at Pocono.
But, John, I was your choir hype man in the background. Like, where?
I think you missed the last time he cut that promo, Nick. Sorry. I think you missed that show.
I'm just saying. Well done, John. Proud of you.
This is going to be a weird season of the Righteous Gemstones. That's all I'm saying.
It's awful. John got that thing over the finish line on a back of a trailer.
Yeah, got to cross the line, though.
I'm pretty sure that's how Derek Cope...
Ricky Bobby ran to the finish line, brother. That's what happened.
I'm pretty sure that's how Derek Cope won his only Daytona 500 was because Earnhardt blew a tire.
Yes.
And Cope just kind of limped that thing to the finish line.
That is correct.
That would apply here. That would actually be correct. All right. We'll get into this week's games. We are in the weird portion of the worldwide schedule, so buckle up is all I can say. We did look at games in Macau last week. That's all I can say.
Nothing wrong with that.
The game finished 20-0. Absolutely, there was something wrong with that. That game had a lot of things wrong with it.
I was specifically just referring to the fact that we went to Macau, not the end result.
Well, yeah, anyway. Let's try to come up with some games as best we can for the next week. And you already did your Friday gimmick, so if you do it again, I'm kicking you out of the show. Fair enough?
No, completely unfair.
No, it's completely fair. You already did it. You blew you blew it. It's done. You played the card. You don't get to do it last
week. It wasn't referencing this week.
No, you don't get no.
Champions prerogative. Champions prerogative.
No, that's nonsense. It's a bad gimmick, and you don't get to do it twice.
I thought that promos were to be left alone.
No.
We need to have a new constitutional convention.
Point of order. His promo was interrupted yet again. By
mine have never been interrupted. Every single time I ever
because you never cut a promo.
No, last time I did, and none of you knew what it was. All of you experts didn't even know what it was, and you trash talked it.
Because it was delivered with the charisma of a lobotomized sea slug, man. You gotta put some fire behind it.
Good grief. That was the whole freaking point of it based off of everything you guys said.
Cutting the anti-promo.
I'm going to stick up for Jason here because it was kind of, if you ever have seen the infamous roast of Bob Saget that was done by Norm Macdonald where he basically did anti-humor.
Yes.
And like the entire, everyone in the audience is just kind of staring. And all of the comedians on stage are literally about to die.
Mm-hmm.
It was very much an anti-humor approach from Jason with the delivery.
It was Chris freaking Jericho is what it was when he was doing that to rile people up. That was the whole point anyway. Good grief. All right. Yell Friday every single day if you want to then, John. That's fine. I'll still kick you out of the stupid show.
Doesn't make any point.
Will, you can start your own show, and you can have John just yell Friday for 2 hours straight. Have fun.
We'll have our own show with blackjack and hookers.
Garbage. All right. We do have this week.
This is great.
UEFA Champions League preliminary rounds. Oh boy. We have on Tuesday La Fiorita hosting Interclub de Escaldes.
God bless
I
you.
have no idea where these people are from.
Oh God, we're in.
We have Vikingur Reykjavik on the road at FCI Levadia Tallinn.
So it's
That is
Estonia
Estonia.
versus Scotland, Iceland.
Not Scotland.
No.
La Fiorita and Interclub de Escales. I had no clue. We do have Open Cup this week as well. And on Tuesday, the LA Galaxy hosts the Sacramento Republic.
I'll take that one.
Okay. That's one of John's picks. And it is the Galaxy and Sacramento. I do not have official odds.
I have entertainment purposes only.
Yes, these do not count as the odds for those of you scoring at home. What do you have?
Galaxy are a minus 185. 90-minute draw is a plus 323. Sacramento Republic a plus 395.
Nick, since you did not play last week, you go first.
I am. I'm going cup set, baby. Give me Sac Republic.
Okay. I'm going with the Galaxy.
That's fine.
Jarrett.
I'm going to go 90-minute draw.
Okay. John.
As am I.
Is anybody surprised about what happened?
No.
Nope.
All right. Wednesday.
La Fiorita is actually in San Marino.
San Marino clubs in the UEFA Champions League preliminary round. Where is Interclub de Escaldes?
I am efforting that one. So Interclub.
They are from Andorra. It is San Marino club versus Andorra club.
Oh, that's awesome.
You didn't pick it.
But no, just on general principle that we know, since we had talked about Andorra and
picked
San Marino in the Premier League, but now the odds were too far out of whack.
Hadn't stopped it before. Wednesday, we got Colombian playoffs, Atlético Nacional, Tolima. We've got USL Championship, Memphis, Tulsa, New Mexico, RGV. We got USL League One, Chattanooga hosting Charlotte. We got Open Cup, Red Bulls hosting New York City. And we have Sporting Kansas City hosting Union Omaha.
Murder Owls.
Murder Owls, please.
You want the Murder Owls. I do not have odds for that either.
I have entertainment purposes only.
Okay. What do you have?
Sporting a minus 250. Your 90-minute draw is a plus 349. Union Omaha a plus 570.
No, I'm up first. Sporting. Jarrett?
I know you
Give
want.
me.
I know you.
Oh
want
yeah, it's exactly what's happening too. I'm taking Union Omaha because I was taught from books as a child. Harry Potter books taught me the average lifespan of an owl is about 6 1/3 books. But I think give me the cup set powering through. Sporting Kansas City has struggled despite the result they got this week. Give me Union Omaha and Cinderella run.
Was the first part supposed to connect to the second part?
No.
Owls.
Okay.
Oh,
I was just wondering. Okay. John?
Sporting. Jarrett proclaimed them fixed, so I'm going to have to go with Sporting.
They're not fixed.
Yeah, I think he said they weren't.
That had as much to do with Nashville being suspect as it did with Sporting Kansas City getting a really weird free kick goal and Daniel Shallowy capturing some 2021 magic.
Nick?
Give me the 90-minute draw.
Okay. Thursday. What we got on the board on Thursday? We got wait a minute, are we missing an Open Cup game on here? So there's 4, right? Do they have one not playing this week for some weird reason?
I think one is not playing this week for some weird reason.
Yeah, that's right. Orlando and Nashville couldn't get their ish together to play this week, I guess. Bums. We'll have that for next week. All right,
They
Thursday.
should play it in Mercedes-Benz.
No.
It's about a midway point.
No, one of them. No, I don't
Actually, it's
want
not a midway point. Never mind. It's closer
that.
to Nashville.
I don't
Okay, Macon's a midway point.
That's fine. They can play Macon.
Diego Luis got a yellow for simulation, trying to draw a penalty. Still
Thursday, we got Forward Madison and Richmond. We got Copa Argentina with Tucumán and Independiente. We got second division in Brazil, Ponte Preta and Sampaio Correa. We've got the Belarus Cup. We've got the Copa do Brasil, Sao Paulo and Palmeiras, and Fluminense and Cruzeiro. We've got the Copa Chile. Deportes Temuco is hosting Colo Colo.
Independiente and Tucumán, por favor.
You want Copa Argentina with Tucumán and Independiente. Okay. Atletico Tucumán is becoming a favorite of the picks of the week.
Mm-hmm.
They play literally every 3 days they're playing.
Yeah, welcome to Argentina. Matches between these two. They played last August and Tucumán won. That was at Tucumán. This game is at a neutral site because that's what the Copa Argentina does. You want chaos? Make like Sporting Kansas City and Union Omaha play in Fargo. Let's do that one.
In the Fargo Dome. Let it happen.
That's what I'm saying. Tucumán comes into this having not lost in 8 games. However, they've only won 3 of those 8. 5 draws. Independiente is playing right now, hosting Estudiantes. It's scoreless in the 28th minute. They lost to Argentinos last time out. A win, a draw, a loss in the Sudamericana to Sierra. A win in the Sudamericana. They beat the General Caballero 4-0. Dominated the General. They're all over the place, Independiente. And I do not have numbers on this game either.
Nor do I.
Yeah, Copa Argentina. They don't know what to make of it. So, Jarrett, you're up. It's a cup, so you do have the 90-minute draw in place.
Give me Independiente, straight up.
Jarrett goes Independiente. All right, John.
Draw.
John goes draw.
Was anybody surprised about what happened? Nope.
Playing tonight and turning around quick? Nope.
I think Tucumán played yesterday, so I don't know how much of a difference that makes. Nick.
Tucumán.
I am going to go with Tucumán as well. All right. You want to go ahead and yell it first, John? Or are you going to wait and then just start randomly yelling and blowing people's eardrums?
Birthday, birthday, birthday. There.
What? Nobody did that song?
He did it just now.
I just made it up.
Did anybody ever want that song? No.
Whose birthday is it, John? So you get to sing your birthday song.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, he gets to sing his birthday song.
Because it's Friday, Friday, Friday.
Okay, you've really run the gimmick into the ground now with 3 different appearances of it today.
No, actually.
You recycled a promo. You're running the gimmick into the ground.
False.
I mean, yeah, no, not false at all. You did the exact same setup to a promo before. You did your gimmick 3 times. This is like bad 1996 WWF. Jeez.
So I'm SD Special Delivery Jones is what you're saying?
Not even. You're the Brooklyn Brawler, okay?
At least Brooklyn Brawler had a gimmick. SD got squashed in 6 seconds in the fastest match in WrestleMania history.
You got a gimmick. You ran it into the ground on Friday.
No, it's Monday. Nick, you okay?
No.
That was some of the worst I've ever heard. I apologize.
It's like a Marx Brothers routine.
Seriously. Can we get you into the 21st century now, John, please?
We're in the 21st century?
I'm trying to get you out of the old-timey style that you're in. We're trying to at least move up a century. Can we?
I
Guess not.
I
So I
guess
was talking to my old lady the other night.
Guess not. All right, Friday. John might pick a game. I can't hear anything. Bonfield and Barraca Central, Rosario Central, and Gimnasia, Boca, and Union. John still does have to make a pick.
Yeah, he
so
does.
He can make bad jokes over here. Okay.
It's at 2:30 in the morning on a Thursday.
What?
Bad jokes down here.
No, it's actually at 9:03 on a Monday. Cincinnati and Orlando playing on a Friday. That's weird. Las Vegas Lights hosting Phoenix, Colorado Springs and San Antonio. Peruvian First Division, Fase Uno. Oh, boy. We have a club named Carlos A. Manucci.
Yep. What?
That's the name of the club. That's what it says. That's like a dude's name. They're a big underdog. We've got the AFC Cup. Oh, this could be fun. We got all kinds of group play. We have the Young Elephants playing Vietel. The Young Elephants have the crest you would expect. It is an elephant's face, and it looks young.
Okay.
And I have no idea what country they are from, but they are in Asia. They are from a country that is not tracked in SofaScore, which is always a good sign.
They're Laotian. Laotian, and their logo is sweet.
The logo is very cool. That's what I'm saying. Vietel, I have no idea where they are from. Oh, they're Vietnamese. Okay.
So Laos versus Vietnam?
Yes, in the AFC Cup. Other games in the AFC Cup. What is the AFC Cup, by the way? Try to find that out, John.
Yeah, that crest is amazing.
I'm thinking it's like the Europa League, although it might be like the Europa Conference League. I don't know.
Annual Continental Club football competition organized by the Asian Football Conference.
Well, we figured that out because it is the AFC Cup, but what level of competition is it?
Second-tier competition to relate back to AFC Champions League.
Okay. That's what I want. I wanted second.
14 countries that had developing status competed in the first competition, 18 teams now.
Sweet. Group J, we have Lee Man FC. Leeman, 2 words, FC. They are playing Eastern SC. That's really original with the names.
Lee Man is from Hong Kong in the Hong Kong Premier League.
Okay. We have Hugang United, and they are playing Phnom Penh Crown.
Okay. We know where one of those are, Cambodia.
Mm-hmm. We have Makassar, PSM Makassar, hosting Kuala Lumpur City FC. Very City FC.
Mm-hmm.
We have Bali United FC hosting Kedah. Got the logo. That's a clip art soccer ball, though. Bali United's logo is pretty cool. Kind of like that. Kaya Iloilo against Visaka FC. Ooh, Group F. What? FK Kopedag Askabad is playing FC Kujand. FC Kujand has a sweet logo. FC Khujand. It's like a bluebird. And it looks kind of tough.
Oh, that's a badass bluebird. It's like if Sam the Eagle was like completely blue.
Yeah. FC, they are from Tajikistan.
Yep.
And I might need to look at this one. FC Kujand. They're 5th in the Tajikistan League. That's a sweet logo.
They finished 2nd in the Tajikistan Higher League last year.
I am a fan. I might have a team now in Tajikistan. And then the last 2, Group E is, Altan Asir FK against Siska Dushanbe. And the other match is FC Sogdiana Tisaka against FK Neftchi Kochkor Ata. That is the AFC Asian Cup group stage that starts on Friday. That's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
FC Sogdiana Gisaka has a very busy logo. Nothing interesting there. Kujand, I think, has the best logo with the angry bluebird. Kaya Iloilo is a pretty good logo. Bali United, I like. Makasur, I don't know what that is in there. The Young Elephants is pretty good. If we get the Young Elephants against the Bluebird, it would be in pretty good shape.
So Young Elephants against FC Kuyand?
Yes, that would be a good one. Lehman and Eastern SC, not so great. We got Copa Chile. We got Chinese League. We have the European U19 Championships. France plays Italy at the U19s.
Okay.
We got the Irish Premier Division. Shamrock Rovers hosting Bohemian. University College of Dublin is hosting Derry City. We got the second division in Ireland if you want to get really degenerate. Galway United is hosting Treaty United. We got the Malaysian Super League. We got the Liga de Expansión. It's back. Our friends Celaya are on the road at Zacatecas.
So who's lacking selections right now? You?
Me and
second and the
Nick.
No.
And Sunday for the Twitch.
No. I picked Tucumán.
Yeah, he picked.
You picked Tucumán. So
it's my
me
second.
and John and the Twitch pitch.
Okay.
Sorry. We have the Anguilla Senior Male League.
Will, excellent shout out, Will.
What?
Yes.
We have Diamond FC against Spartans FC. That's a big one. Yeah. I guess since John's not going to pick a game on Friday, I have to.
Yes.
And I guess so we don't have a staring contest like Manchester United, Barcelona, or in and of Frankie de Jong. I will go with, and I wish we had numbers on these AFC Cup games. I'm just going to pick the Young Elephants. Vietel against the Young Elephants. I don't know where this tournament's being played. I'm assuming because it's all group stage, like maybe they're in a neutral site. Group I is all in Ho Chi Minh City. So Vietel hosting Young Elephants FC. John, your pick.
Let's go with the Young Elephants.
John picks the Young Elephants.
And I'm going to send them an email to their Gmail account telling them we are picking them to see if we can get gear.
That'd be cool.
There you go.
I like it.
Give me Vietel. If it's being played in Vietnam.
I'm pretty sure that it is. Again, SofaScore does get a little confused on some of these because they don't track these that close. I'm going to check one more place just to make sure. If you're picking it on that, I don't want to lead you down the wrong direction. Vietel, Young Elephant. Yes, it appears Google and SofaScore are both saying this is being played in Vietnam.
Yep, give me Vietel, please.
Okay. I am going to go with the Young Elephants. Jarrett?
I am going to also choose the Young Elephants.
The Young Elephants. They have a Brazilian.
It's a good name.
Yeah, that's good. The logo is really good.
Yeah.
The logo is one of the best I've seen. All right. John, what are you picking for Saturday? Do you already know? Is that why you didn't want to go with one on Friday?
Yes.
Okay. What are you picking on Saturday unless you want to hear some crazy games?
Cali Classico.
Cali Classico. San Jose hosting the LA Galaxy, who make a second appearance on the.
At least he didn't say. At least we didn't have to choose El Tráfico, so Jason doesn't have to hear El Tráfico.
That's a stupid name. They're not playing, luckily. This is it's a stupid name. It's a horrible name. It's garbage.
I just like to remind you that it
coaches
exists.
And everybody else hates it.
So
this game.
So you're saying, Jarrett, that El Tráfico still exists?
Yes.
Okay, just check.
Is the league still branding it as El Tráfico?
El Tráfico is still branded as El Tráfico by the people responsible for calling it El Tráfico.
You're going to follow that line of logic? Because they brand a lot of things that are questionable.
El Trafico.
because it's not official. I don't think they trademarked it.
Jared, is this due to the high volume of traffic that takes place between Carson and Los Angeles proper?
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All the traffic. Oh, yes.
Really? I never guessed what it was referring to. Oh my goodness! Now it's all making sense.
I have no further questions at this time. Thank you.
So, what stupid gimmicky name do you want to put on Inter in Milan? Since it's so funny to have it based off traffic, what do you want to put that one as?
Have you ever driven in
the
Italy?
fashion
That's
derby.
not a bad idea.
Derby.
If you've ever driven in Italy, it's not a bad idea. Because Italian drivers are psychotic.
No, Jared. I'm gonna draw a diagram here. We don't need more El Traficos. We can just have rivalry names that aren't funny joke.
I think we should call the rivalry between Inter and Milan the walk-off, like on Zoolander.
Go try to get that one over, and we'll see how that goes for you, Nick. We won't be hearing from Nick again when the people get to him. This game's interesting because both teams are plus 160 in San Jose and LA Galaxy, and the draw's 260. San Jose doesn't play in the Open Cup in midweek. Galaxy do on Tuesday, and then they have to go to Stanford to play in the Cali Classico. So, Nick, you're up first.
Who are the teams in the Cali Classico again?
Oh, jeez.
This is evil by my standards.
Really?
Yeah, just give me the names. I'd like to know the names.
You don't know who they are?
No.
San Jose and the LA Galaxy.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll take the LA Galaxy, please.
On the road at Stanford?
Yes.
Okay. They play in the midweek and San Jose doesn't? Okay.
Give me the LA Galaxy, please.
I'm picking a draw 3-3.
Jason's desperate to see San Jose play a drunken mess of a game.
They do every other game, so I'm pretty much due. Jarrett, what are you picking?
San Jose straight up.
Jarrett,
I
violence?
I don't really trust you, LA Galaxy.
But you trust San Jose?
I trust San Jose because the Galaxy are on a short week.
Okay.
It's not, don't think of it so much as trusting San Jose, more so of having less trust in the Galaxy. Does that make you feel better?
A little, not much, but have at it. John, what are you picking?
The over, the draw. I agree with you. It's going to be a drunken madness draw.
The draw.
Is anybody surprised about what happened?
Nope.
John, I would like to point out that last week you won with probably your highest number ever, and you only picked one draw. You did get the one draw right, but this week you have picked 3 out of 5 draws.
That is accurate.
Yep, it is. I just counted it. We have a game picked for Sunday from the Twitch pitch. DNL Hutch was the winner of the Twitch pitch and sent me his pick earlier. I like the efficiency of the Twitch pitch and their operation these days. It's very good. John can veto it if he wants. He didn't veto anything else. Al Akli hosting Pyramids FC.
Ooh.
Is that good, John?
Yes.
Okay.
I appreciate the obscure nature of the location of the match.
Where is the match?
Al Akli, I mentioned it's Saudi Arabia.
It's in Saudi Arabia?
Involving a Saudi Arabian side is probably the more accurate assessment.
Is it?
Al Akli? Al Akli was...
I love these little standoffs we have.
Sorry, Egyptian. Okay.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, man.
I was just checking.
You say that as if, like, we don't... We're John just confused Saudi Arabian for Egyptian. We're going to have to move him.
Yeah.
For his own safety, we're going to have
Red
to
team
move
go.
him.
Red team go. You are go. You are go. Red team go. The chair is against the door.
Yeah, it's not good. And
The
this
mustache
is not...
twirled. The mustache is twirled.
This is not even the league. This is the cup in Egypt.
Okay, because Al Ahly is playing Wednesday.
Yep.
In league.
Yep. Probably Pyramids is due because this is the cup.
That is true. They both are. And strangely enough, they are both favorites by the same leading number right now. They are both minus 303 in league play. For
their league game. Because they are second and third in the league. Al Ahly is the all-time leading winner in the league with 37 national titles. Pyramids has a pretty fancy little logo there. I kind of like it. I dig it. This is the quarterfinal round. Let me get back to the match and give you recent history between these two.
Do we have a specific city in which this is being played?
I will get all of this for you. This is being played at the Al Ahly Stadium in Cairo. So Al Ahly is hosting this. And Pyramids. Do we have numbers? Probably not. No, because they're playing league before, so that could affect it.
All right. Young Elephants been notified of the soccer over their bump.
Thank you. Hopefully they win. What was it we had a couple of weeks ago that picked them and they didn't win? I was very disappointing. The Ferrymead Bays. Man, not happy with them. Last time these teams played was March 8th in Cairo with Al Ahly hosting, and they won 3-0. Time before that was in July of 21, and they drew 2-2, and Pyramids had it red. Al Ahly comes into this off of a draw in league with Zamalek, a win over Eastern Company SC, and a cup win over Al Masri Balslum. And they also, they lost in the CAF Champions League to Wydad 2-0. So a little bit all over the place for the Al Ahly these days. They drew with the National Bank of Egypt. We've had police teams, army teams, armed police teams. We have not had a bank team. That was a scoreless draw between the National Bank of Egypt.
4.1 million followers on Twitter, by the way.
For which one?
Al Ahly.
They're kind of a big club. That's why I was hoping you would remember what country they were from, so we didn't have hate mail coming our way. We will. I'll send it to you. Don't worry. Pyramids, 3-1 winners over Al Masri.
John's going to have to open his email. Joke's on you.
Yeah, we might get other kinds of mail after that one. I don't trust it. So Pyramids recently, they had a win over Al Masri. They had a draw with Future FC. They had a loss at Al Ittihad Alexandria. They had a draw with Farco FC, and they won 3 in a row. I don't think they've played the bank team. They did lose in the CAF Confederations Cup, which is below the Champions League, to TP Mazembe. So kind of even form coming into this. In the league, they are 2-3. Pyramids has played 3 more games, so they're 2 points ahead. So Al Ahly on points per game has been better. Al Ahly has scored 40 goals in 18 games to Pyramids 32 and 21. About the same number of goals given up, 14 and 15. But Al Ahly's played 3 fewer games. So, Jarrett, pick a game. Pick Al Ahly, Pyramids, Egyptian Cup.
Pyramids, just for fun. I don't know.
Just for fun, Jarrett says.
I like Pyramids, so I'm going to go with Pyramids.
He likes Pyramids. And was that in the, what did you say it was, John? The category 6?
Yeah, the intangibles.
Of your picks?
Yes, category 6, the intangibles.
Yeah.
Jarrett, I'd like to tell you about Brit Worldwide.
Pyramids are part of the intangibles. What are you picking, John?
Al Ahly.
John is picking Al Ahly.
Abby is asking for the local time of the match.
I have 2:00 on Sunday.
So
that could change sometimes with some leagues. SofaScore doesn't always have all of that info correct.
So like 8-ish in the morning our time?
No, 2 Eastern time.
2 Eastern. Okay, so it's a night game. Okay.
Yes. Nick.
Al Ahly, shukran.
Yes, I am also going with Al Ahly. And we'll get the Twitch pitches pick. We need a prop bet. And I think we picked a game from that. I think we can go. I finished last out of people who played last week. Nick's had to pick the prop bet like 3 or 4 times lately when he's played. So I'll come up with something. I will go with, where was it? I wanted to go back to the UEFA U19s and pull something from that.
Are either Andorra or San Marino playing?
In the U19 UEFA Championships, no, they are not playing in the Euros of the U19s. They didn't quite make it. It's 2 groups. It's France, Italy, Romania, Slovakia in one. It's England, Israel, Serbia, and Austria in the other. We got 1 round of games under our belts. We'll have, I guess, the last 2 group stage games, yes, before we finish. So that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games this week in the European U19 finals. Let's go within those 8 games. How many goals are scored? So prop UEFA U19 goals. 8 games.
Yeah, run through that again. 8 games.
8 games, just to give you a sense of what the first round of games gave in goals. In 4, because it's 2 groups of 4, so everybody's played a game so far. You had a 5-0 win for France over Slovakia. You had a 2-1 win for Italy over Romania. You had a 2-2 with Serbia and Israel. And you had a 2-0 win for England and Austria. So that's a good number of goals in this thing. And we got 8 games. So, Nick, how many goals in the 8 remaining group stage games of the UEFA U19?
El Trafico, 14.
In 8 games?
I said what I said.
They scored 14 in 4 games.
I said what I said. Give me 14.
Okay.
I didn't stutter.
No, it's stupid, but okay, go ahead.
Give me 14.
No, I didn't stutter either. It's dumb. They played 14. They scored 14 goals in the first round of games.
If you're feeling froggy, jump.
I'm feeling froggy. Told you it's dumb. I'm going to pick 32. Jarrett, what are you going to pick?
31.
Okay. John?
38.
Okay. 14.
All right. When it's 17 or 18, you guys can be like, I don't know what happened.
Slovakia's going to 35. Slovakia might give up 14
You're
goals.
so stupid,
what was
Nick.
that?
Drinking some Drano recreationally. Let people pick whatever they want.
You did. I'm letting you pick it. I was trying to help you, but you don't want help. So okay,
America.
Have fun.
That's right.
I
thought this was America.
14 goals in 8 games.
It's not possible for this show to go off the rails anymore because we were never on them.
True.
No.
That is accurate.
No. That's Nick, I think you did miss something while you were on a disappearance from the show. And it's very important that you know about this.
Oh, yes, that is true.
There is a new documentary coming about Nicholas Bentner.
Oh, no.
Yes. A new documentary is coming.
Popped him right in the eyes.
Back together, man.
The new one's coming. It's coming.
Can't you call Johanna Rasmussen or something, man? Do a documentary on her or something, man. Good God.
No. You will like the comment that I just found on Football Italia about a potential Juve move.
Mm-hmm.
Roma 16 says that rumor has it Juve are trying to lure Nicholas Bentner out of retirement.
Oh, God.
It's a joke. They're not really. Roma 16 is not in the know, John.
Thank God.
Yeah, not so much. Um,
God, it had nothing to do with it.
I feel so bad for the editor of that documentary. Like you're sitting there,
pretty
you're
big
doing your
name if I
show.
remember correctly.
You're doing your show, like you got all your stuff lined up. You have all your media. You're building your subfolders, and then you realize that one thing hits you, and you're like, Jesus Christ! I'm going to spend the next few months of my life editing a Nicholas Bentner doc. This is what Mom warned me about when she said I should get into like animal husbandry or something like that. This is what she was. Honey, are you sure this is what you want to do with your life? Because she knew I would be editing something for Nicholas Bentner.
She wanted you to raise peregrine falcons or something.
Like can you raise some hens or something that's useful to society?
I mean, he grew up in Paulding County.
We do have some news on your boy,
true.
on Bentner. We have some new news from Danish press. Bentner has borrowed 12 million kroner in his North Zealand property.
All right, hang on.
We had his financials last time out, Nick, and he's doing okay. He had a decent year last year. He made a little bit more money than he spent.
So he's taking
all
equity out of
odds.
his home for.
That's what it says.
12 million kroner is just under 1.7 million US.
So he's been trying to sell it for as much as 35 million kroner.
So 3 times that, so close to 3 and 1 point, so 5 million basically.
So he bought it in 2020 for 12.9.
Mm-hmm.
So 1.8, almost just under 2.
And he's trying to sell it for 35? Oh, I think they shot some of the Bittner and Feline in the house. So I guess he thinks it's going to be worth more.
Why would you like that's my whole thing is like
I don't know.
You're not where's the value on that?
I don't know how the house tripled in value in 2 years.
A Nicholas Bentner documentary.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
Sorry, Nicholas. I don't think that's going to work.
Not happening.
But yes, his new documentary will be very exciting for you, Nick. Very, very exciting. They've been working on it since the summer of 2019.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of man hours put into it. There's a lot
Could you imagine Bentner during COVID during production?
That was fun.
That was amazing, I bet.
You have to put the call time at some like 3 p.m. in the afternoon because he has to walk wherever he goes. Right? That's probably why he took equity out of his home so he could afford the Uber rides to wherever he's trying to get.
So it is Danish director Andreas Kofod, who is producing this. He graduated as a documentary director from the National Film School of Denmark. He directed Ballroom Dancer and Albert's Winter.
Oh.
Okay.
He's 43 years old. He's won some awards that I've never heard of for best documentary feature.
I'm sure like he won like the Denmark Golden Tomato.
The Robert Award.
Yeah.
And the Bodil Award.
Okay. Yeah.
Bodil.
Right.
Yes.
The Robert.
Sure.
Oh, he's the one we mentioned this before. He's the one who did a documentary called The Fall. It's about an 11-year-old girl who survived a 5-story fall.
He made a documentary out of a kid falling out of a building?
Out of a moment in time.
Estrid, who fell out of a 5th-floor window when sleepwalking at the age of 11.
That's a 5-minute piece on Unsolved Mysteries. I don't understand what you're doing.
She survived the accident, suffered 17 fractures. She regained her mobility, but obviously the trauma of the fall stays with her and her family.
Okay, good. Yeah. I hope the kid's all right.
Not a documentary.
He has done that, and now he is doing the documentary on Nicholas Bentner.
Right. So he's bored. Okay.
Well, maybe he hasn't gotten his cars back. I don't think.
You might as well just do a documentary on like the interior of a compost heap. That's probably a bit more
in smell-o-vision.
Yeah, a bit more exciting than watching Nicholas Bentner get on a scooter, try to evade the cops on a scooter. Like one of those little push scooters, not even like the cool electric ones either.
You want to move over to Mauro and Wanda?
Sure.
You've broken Nick. Congratulations.
I try.
Didn't think it was
The
possible.
3-letter
Well, you succeeded.
tabloid is still obsessed with Wanda.
Shocker.
She showed off her sunburnt bum, they
Yep.
say, in a headline.
Oh my.
Somebody else said peachy bum.
Good for you.
Yeah, the thirst traps have hit a whole nother level. I'm sorry. I get it. It's there. Yeah, there's not much really in the hesitation with the thirst trap pictures at this point. Jeez. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? This is weird. They were on some like safari. I think they might still be on the safari. Oh no, this is somebody else doing a 3-letter type article. Translated, Wanda Nara sunbathed in dental floss.
So it's an op-ed.
No, it's an article in Los Andes. It's a description of the pictures that he posted of her and what she was wearing. Yep. Not much there.
Nothing left of the imagination.
Yep.
But again, like I don't understand why this.
I guess they just figured out who she was, but I don't know why Los Andes is writing about it. I mean, they know who she is.
Right, but
I get the 3-letter because there's another article from the 3-letter headline: Mauro Icardi could make shock Wolves transfer.
Yeah, because he is one of the dudes that PSG is looking to.
Well, of course.
If I'm Mauro Icardi, probably
he's
not
busy posting pictures of his wife right now.
Right, and I get it. It's the look at me, I don't take L's. I understand. Good for you, pal. But you know, there has to be a part of your pride that has to sit there and go, the world now knows about us more because Milady is wearing physics-defying dental floss and not my abilities on the pitch at all. Like, there are cave drawings of his time at Inter. So I mean, like, there has to be a part of him as a man that can say, you know what, maybe I need to reassert myself on, like, the footballing stage, as I'm not Mauro Icardi, professional iPhone photographer for Milady,
what he is,
who stress tests, like 15-pound test line. I don't know. I mean,
man, he's posted multiple pictures like showing off Wanda.
Good for you, pal.
There's lots of articles about that. West Ham blogs say that Mauro Icardi to West Ham. David Moyes managing Mauro Icardi. I'm not buying it.
Nope.
See.
Hell is real.
I am
Gustavo's
not.
coming in with some good info here. Wanda is in San Martin de los Andes.
Okay, so they went from their I believe they were they in Africa or Asia? I can't remember. They went on like a week or two safari. Huh?
They're in the Maldives, I think.
No, they were somewhere else before all that, if I remember correctly. I think they were in Africa. And now they've went to northern Argentina, Gustavo, near Chile.
Yes, Africa, you are correct.
Okay, yeah.
Tanzania and Africa.
That's right. West Ham and Mauro Icardi. But here's something for you, Nick, and this is what we have learned from this, which I did not know. David Moyes wants to follow a Red Bull model in building his West Ham side.
How?
Don't know what
does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't think they're playing that style. Maybe in terms of the kinds of buys you're looking to make.
Okay, so you buy Stephen Jablonski III from Southwest Louisiana School basket weaving and promote him to the first team. Okay, gotcha.
And you're also looking at here's a wait a minute, is this Okay, this is back from January. He said, "I don't think any manager wants D heads." This is David Moyes.
That's
And
true.
I don't know if you can correlate D heads with big egos. I'm just reading it. I don't know what he actually said, but you can. I don't know if that's how he said it. If that's how he said it, that's kind of funny. There's a difference. You can have a big ego and not be a D head. We've got a humble group of players, very honest. I love team players and people who are going to be part of the team, people who are really committed and are going to work, score goals, and defend goals, whatever it may be. Would Mauro Icardi fit that bill, Nick?
No.
Yeah, the personal
he
life
doesn't even
section
fit the
is gonna
profile
be
of a
kind
first
big.
teamer.
There's
Like,
that.
I mean,
Oh wow, this article's great. He is the John Terry of Argentina.
It's not a compliment.
The affair.
No, because that.
The
It's
affair.
not a compliment.
No, it's not a compliment.
No.
Yeah, but John Terry could at least play the game at a high level.
It's specifically about the affair.
Right.
Only about the affair because
Right.
it talks about the affair with Maxi Lopez. They even include that Diego Maradona criticized Mauro Icardi before he passed. Throwing that one in there. Mauro Icardi, talking about him, this West Ham blog says, Hammers.news, by the way. He has criticized his own fans in books, upset managers, and despite it being clear he had no future at PSG, last summer with the arrival of Lionel Messi, he opted to stay in France on his big wages rather than seek game time elsewhere. That's all accurate.
He doesn't care. Like, all he cares about is I get to travel around with Wanda.
And not get invited to the Argentine parties.
Right.
I'm
going home with Wanda. What are you doing?
All the other Argentines are out having dinner, all
Right.
dressed to the nines, and no Mauro.
Right.
Nope. Jack McGlynn has equalized for the U.S. It is now 1-1 in the 50s.
Very nice.
Mara's like peeking through like the window. You know, it's a rainy night in Paris. Rain's come. You know, knocking his little page boy hat down. Everybody's inside of me.
They make sure to Photoshop any pictures of them in the background or peeking through windows or any of that. They make sure they Photoshop that out before
He's
it's posted.
out. Yeah.
They don't post any of that. So yeah, Mauro is trying to find a club. Maybe Wolves. Maybe West Ham. Mauro in England would be pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Wanda
watch,
would take it.
Miami's going to make a call, and they're going to try to get. I had to place my words there. They're going to get that bum and bring him in for one, but it's going to be like on a TAM deal or something.
Okay. So PSG, according to a French site, has mandated Jorge Mendes to find him a way out of PSG. So wait a minute, that's not his agent. So PSG is talking to a super agent, Jorge Mendes, to get a non-client of his out of the club because his agent, Wanda, isn't moving to get him out of the club.
It's like,
No,
yo,
because
dog, dog, we'll help her.
How is Mendes going to get him out of the club?
Because she doesn't want him to move. She does not want him to move. She wants him to leech money.
Yeah.
And
So that's where the
Paris.
Wolves thing came up, is specifically Jorge Mendes, who sent like 543 players to Wolves over his career.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not shady at all.
No.
Never.
No,
what
no.
a bum. Like that's where pride comes in, man. You gotta have a little bit of pride about yourself. You know, a little bit of sensibility. It's you know, if you want to sit around and you want to be your lady's iPhoneographer, great, good for you.
That's what he's doing.
You could be the social media manager for her.
iPhoneographer. I'll have to remember that one. That's good.
You know, I like he's got like brain worms or something. I don't know what his issue is, but maybe she's feeding him like a cocktail of Drano and like gardening chemicals or something. I don't know, but he's like sniffing whiteout.
Miracle Grow and Drano.
Right, yeah. And then he does a few lines of whiteout and makes career decisions. I don't know what he's.
The thirst traps have made their way to Turkey as well, if you were wondering.
I'm sorry.
Turkish
if you
tabloids
go
now.
on
Turkish
Instagram
talking
any
about
day of the
Wanda.
week, there's infinitely better women than Wanda Icardi out there. I do not understand the infatuation with Wanda Icardi. I really don't. There's better looking women in England. There's better looking women in Argentina. There's better looking women, and pick the country and throw a rock. And I don't understand. I really don't. Like there's nothing.
We will end with this on Wanda and Mauro. I should probably say Wanda first from now on about Mauro because she seems to be she's making more money.
Wanda and the guy.
So Corriere dello Sport in Italy has posted a article from the off the field section. Icardi and Wanda Nara show the 3,000 euro shoes. So it's a pair of Nike Air Force Ones that were created in collaboration with Louis Vuitton. White and green. Limited edition. 200 pairs were auctioned at Sotheby's to raise money for the Virgil Abloh Post Modern Scholarship Foundation. They went for between 2,000 and 3,000 euro.
Who cares?
And they have them.
Who cares?
That'll be on the
documentary.
documentary.
This is like when Shkreli,
Martin
Nimrod,
Shkreli.
Martin Shkreli bought the one copy of the Wu-Tang album. Who cares? No one cares. No one.
Corriere dello Sport cared. They wrote about it.
Yeah, great. You got to move some product. You got to get a couple clicks. Good for you. No, come on. This is. What in God's name? No, you're in transfer season, and you're talking about Wanda Nara and Gomer Goofball like out there buying $3,000 Nikes. Who cares? Jesus.
Ropes with a really good question on the Twitch pitch for for Jared. Isn't there a Scottish equivalent for D-head?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there is, but I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to say it. I get enough trouble for my language on this nighttime program as it is.
That is true. That is definitely true. You get out of hand a little bit, Jared.
Well, tell the world not to get so out of hand.
I can't tell him that.
Yo, world, chill.
I
Thanks,
can't tell him any of that. We will end with this update. There could be movement from a manager that we have talked about quite a bit on this show, potentially leaving Defensa y Justicia.
Oh my God,
Sebastian Becasese. He might be on his way out. He said on where did he say this? Herman Garcia Grova has it, and that is about as legit comes from Argentine media. Quote translated, things have happened in the week. We're going to reevaluate the situation to see what we are going to do. I'm not sure about the next game. Now, he has been linked if Peru doesn't bring back Gareca, which I don't think they will. He's been linked as a possible candidate to take over the Peruvian national team.
Winless in their first four, 26th in the table at 28.
No, they have not looked good. He's been more involved in wanting to fight Gallardo outside the locker rooms. So, yeah, it has gone south for our boy, Becasese.
Yeah, well, get away for a little bit and,
Gustavo is very happy about this.
Yes.
Gustavo is not on the Becasese.
I was say, Gustavo's going to have a party.
Yes, he has not been a fan of Sebastian Becasese at all.
Can't imagine why.
I have problems with that because I like Sebastian Becasese, but he might want to fight people too much.
Yes.
He needs to maybe chill out just a little bit. Get that man some medication that makes him a little more chill. Can we do that?
Let it go out.
You want him to fight people out in the out behind the locker room?
Hey, if somebody is that ready to fight,
he's been ready to fight like every other game. I think
you don't want to fight anymore.
That's it.
Especially when you're winless in your first four.
Yeah, but he was wanting to fight when he was winning games too. Like he just wants to fight everybody.
Good, let him fight. Let him get some teeth knocked loose, and then if he still wants to fight, then he's about it. If he's not, then that's an instant correction.
Independiente's Independiente's having a good night too. So Gustavo's happy.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll see if they take care of business in the Copa Argentina.
Yeah, I think Gustavo is calling SDH bump for Independiente tonight.
We'll see. We'll see if it holds up, Gustavo. Good luck to you. 62nd minute, Canada, U.S., U20s and CONCACAF 1-1. If you are wanting to watch the Independiente action and you are live with us on Twitch, not listen to this later, it is the 59th minute, Independiente 2-0 up at home over Estudiantes. Newell's is 1-0 up over Argentinos Juniors. That's your score update. That's the show. Send us home, Nick.
Yeah, so, as everybody knows, the world's a bit of a crazy mess. It has been for a while. Just follow this little bit of advice here. Don't let your social media profile cause you to fumble the bag. Don't say anything on social media that will cause you to lose your job. Because I've seen a lot of people lately posting stuff that, quick delete. Nope. HR sees it. HR sees all. They're the all-seeing eye of Sauron. Do not. They're looking from beyond, in the management, behind the wall of management, like that giant all-seeing eye. They're looking at all your posts. Don't let your Twitter fingers cause you to lose the bag. Don't do it. Be smart about your social media. There's nothing worth getting in a fight on social media about. Nothing. Let it go. I'm an old man. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about here. Let it go. Until next time, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the patience while I was out. We had swim team stuff going on, with the Duchess, and then it was all on Monday nights. And then Jackie Fresh caught COVID, and then he got over it, so he's doing great now. So thank you so much, everybody, for your patience and understanding. We'll try to see if we can keep some continuity going. And big ups to John for winning picks of the week, baby. Way to go. All right, till next time, everybody. Mucha Euro, y'all. Oh, hell no.